Hey guys, this is Alessio coming at you before the episode with some pretty good news. So in true Metal Gear Mondays fashion, 1 to 2 episodes after saying something on this show, we have to walk it back. We are no longer running the crowdfunding campaign for Hate because Hate is rebranding a little bit, and we actually were able to get some connections through our benefactor in order to fund everything without having to do a crowdfunding. So that's awesome. So if you heard the previous episodes and you're wondering where the hell is that Indiegogo page, joke's on you. It doesn't exist anymore. But you can go to foreverastronaut.com to check out more stuff on that, and I'm sure I will talk about it periodically throughout the show. Anyway, just wanted to point that out as soon as possible. Enjoy the show.
Leon Del Monte visits an old friend. Walking through the halls of an aging and damaged old castle, Leon finds his mark amongst the ruins.
Old friend, it's been far too long.
I see you're still alive somehow, Del Monte.
Whilst seeking revenge for the death of my entire bloodline, I stumbled upon some dark magics. What is it, Epog, that keeps your blood from turning to vinegar?
Epog? I have not heard that name in centuries, my immortal compatriot.
Then, what is it the devil calls you these days?
You can call me Rusane.
The Dark Lord Raisin himself? I knew you were behind these wives' tales and rumors.
If you're here to dispatch me, then so be it.
No, old friend. That would be far too easy. I want you to meet a new friend of mine. The California Raisins. They lost one of their own and are seeking a new member by volunteer or other methods.
I heard it through the grapevine, mysterious stranger.
No!
Oh, also twist, it's actually the year 2018. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, welcome to episode 85 of Metal Gear Mondays, a Games Club podcast where we cover all things Metal Gear from top to bottom, left to right, inside and out in pseudo-historical recreational order. As always, I'm your host, Alessio Summerfield, and this week I am joined by...
Sam Wright, and the sponsorships are back, ladies and gentlemen. This week I am sponsored by the crisp, cool, refreshing flavor of caffeine-free 7-Up, a lemon lime flavored soda with other natural flavors.
It's crazy, Sam. The fact that you're able to make that can opening sound with just your mouth is it's taken it to a whole new level. I'm also joined by
Isaac Lim. That's Isaac Lim. And for the record, I actually do hate 7-Up.
Oh no! What do you prefer? Do you have a preferred drink?
I'm a Fresca boy.
If you were to give me a lemon lime choice, it would be Sprite.
Ooh.
Man. No Fresca?
Fun fact for anybody who is within proximity of Isaac's Wi-Fi, the password is lemon lime.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa, hey. Oh, hey.
Oh, no. The aggregator bots are going to track you down.
I'm really upset that nobody's biting on my Fresca.
Oh, Fresca's pretty good.
It's all right. Well, great. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining me. For those not in the know, this is the conclusion of our Castlevania Lords of Shadow trilogy, which was originally supposed to be a duology. I don't know. Words. But because of length and bloat and other large words, we cut them up into 3 parts. So this is the finale. This is the part 3. We're taking it from the beginning of Chapter 7 to the end of the game. Before we do that, however, we do have some
it's
news.
ironic that the word long is a short word.
I agree.
Yeah, it's shorter than short.
I agree. Or the fact that Lisp has a bunch of letter S's in it.
Yeah, has words that people with lisps can't say.
It's kind of fucked up. But yeah, do you guys? Let's.
It's like Ray.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Isn't it ironic? So let's dive into the news. It's not too much this week, but let's cue that jingle here.
It's time for new news. Metal Gear news.
Yeah. And we're back. So the only real news item that I have that hasn't been reiterated in previous episodes thus far, again, as of 11/13, not really again, for the first time of me announcing the date that we're recording, as of 11/13/2018, Hideo Kojima paid tribute to Stan Lee, who passed away yesterday at 95 years old.
Which, like,
Father
I
of
was
Marvel.
I was having a conversation with one of my coworkers. It was like, oh wow, that sucks that Stan Lee died. He was 95 though.
Yeah,
Right.
Kristen's response was like, well, fuck, I kind of imagined that he would just live forever at this point.
Well, yeah.
But
Chances are we are going to
95
see, it's not the
pretty
last
good
of
old
him,
age.
because I know in other Marvel films they've already captured like 10 more Stan Lee appearances, apparently.
Oh yeah. His cameos, and like it's to the point where I don't think like they're gonna have like a photograph of Stan Lee in all of the movies going forward, or he's gonna be in them going forward in some way, because you can't just not have it without him. You know what I mean?
Do you guys think that there's a child who exists on Earth today that will mistakenly think that Stan Lee is still alive because of the
gosh.
cameos?
Probably.
Oh. Yeah. Kids are stupid.
Oh no.
So dumb.
But the way that the Stan Lee ties into Metal Gear canon, and the reason why it's not just Kojima tweeted out a picture and we're talking about it, notably, Stan Lee appeared on stage at a Games Awards show, or excuse me, at a Games show in general, dressed as Revolver Ocelot to help. He introduced himself as Revolver Ocelot as part of sort of the MGS1 hype days.
Correction, it was on stage for a Metal Gear Solid 3 presentation on G4.
Look at that little nugget.
That's pretty
Very
cool.
cool.
Yes.
And I just want to say sincerely, Stan Lee was such a great dude, and he made so many like unforgettable worlds and characters and all kinds of stuff. And he will be severely missed. And I hope that his estate got settled and handled properly and not leached upon by vultures, as was the case as he was entering his final years.
Yeah, it's a real shame. There was a lot of like elderly abuse happening, apparently. Also, for those not in the know, apparently Mary Jane Watson is based off of his wife. So look at Stan. Stan's wife passed away in 2017 from some sort of complications, I think, due to a stroke. So that's crazy that they were happily married since like the mid 40s. So look at that.
And now to make you feel better, let's talk about Castlevania Lords of
Yeah,
Shadow.
let's do that. Real quick. I do want to throw in some internal news. If you are a $10 plus patron backer, look for an exciting post by the time you hear this in the early feed.
That we ask you do not share.
Correct. Please do not share. Anyway, with that mysterious enigma,
So suspenseful.
let's dive into Lords of Shadows, Shadow Lords of Shadow, Castlevanias.
All
Yeah,
of them.
so, yeah. Isaac,
Hey,
you were about to say something, so I'll let you do that, and then I'll
I
hit you with
just-
something else.
I was just gonna say all of them. Let's cover all of them.
Yeah, let's cover all of the Castlevanias right now, top to bottom.
Left to right.
But Isaac, before we dive into what we're covering this episode, could we fumble a little bit on what happened?
Let's rewind, shall we?
I think there's a segment we like to do called Fumbling in the Dark with Isaac Lim.
Love it. Love it, live it, love it.
What was that noise you were making?
He became a tiny shark. He became a little squallow.
Little swallow.
That was his Lord of Shadow. His
right.
Lord of Shadow mode.
Yeah,
That's
that was
my
his
avatar name.
Isaac's heavenly body fled the earth and left behind Shadow Isaac, otherwise known as Lil Squallow.
Well, let's roll it back to a time when
Hold
we
on,
were all
Alessio,
here.
cue the rewind record backward spin sound effect.
Can you instead of that? Can you cue the travel montage?
Oh yeah, so we'll do travel montage again right here. I'm actually going to include both of the sound effects for.
Hey, can we?
Ooh, you can do the
make
travel
our own-
montage in reverse.
Oh yeah, I'll do that one too right here. You got one, Isaac? Are we queuing up Storm right now?
No,
Like queuing up
I'm
a playlist for Spotify?
Can we just queue up? I want to hear the sexy saxophone that Sam had.
Yeah.
Can
I get exactly 5 seconds of Sandstorm?
No, not Sandstorm. You said the saxophone.
I know, but I want some Sandstorm.
All right, so
Okay.
hold on. So this is
And if
Sandstorm.
we do
It's-
only
Hold on.
This
Sam,
is Sandstorm
me
for
first.
patrons right here, and then this is saxophone for everybody else right here. Fuck it, whatever.
Perfect.
well, if we only do 5 seconds, so we won't get kicked off of Spotify.
I don't want to chance it.
Okay.
Just do like a little splurt.
No, it'll be fine.
All right. What did we do last time, Isaac? What did we talk about last time?
All right, we're rolling it back to a time that was simple. All right.
Wait, what's simpler than the times that this game takes place in?
These times weren't simple, SEO. These were shadow times.
We got Donald Trump bears for sale on the television. We got. We're in hell right now, but yeah, I think I know where you're getting.
We're in the depth of the Helmuth.
Correct.
Oh man. All right. Anyway, so last time we covered. Oh, this is gonna mess me up because you split me up. So I don't know where you're gonna split.
You split me up.
Well, we didn't do one. Just do all of it because we didn't do one on the part 2 episode because we split it up.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right. I totally
true.
forgot. So because there wasn't a fumbling segment in the last episode, you'll get a twofer here.
Are you fumbling through your fumbling in the dark right now, Isaac?
Yep.
I'm gonna fumble all over you, Alessio.
Whoa, baby.
Damn. What the fuck?
Hey, so for $10 patrons, you can go to patreon.com/Metal Gear Mondays to watch all of that fumbling.
Hey, guys, you guys want me to start a fumble podcast?
It's just Isaac trying to say something for an hour.
I might listen to that.
All right, Isaac, sorry, continue.
All right, I'm
somebody
so sorry.
somebody in their car is fucking screaming at the top of their lungs right now.
Oh man. Hey, last weekend, this is what we did.
We didn't record on a weekend.
Shh. They don't know
This
that.
is going
all
off
right?
the rails.
Alessio, they don't know that.
Last weekend at Isaac's.
Weekend at Isaac's. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Let me get back on track. We covered Lords of Shadow, Part 1
And part 2.
and 2, which consisted of chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of Castlevania.
Look at you.
Isaac
Is
can count.
this the textbook definition of what we missed last episode?
Yep. He can't read, but he certainly can count.
If you want to know in more detail about what were in those chapters, you'll just have to re-listen to the episodes.
Check out episodes 83 and
Check
84
out
of
the
Metal Gear
last two
Mondays. Isaac pulled that. It took Isaac 85 episodes to pull the listen to last week's episode card. Let the record show.
He finally found the deepest, darkest secret of the segment.
Yeah. Over
We're gonna have to
100
retire
hours
it
into
soon.
this show.
He's getting too smart for his own good. We're gonna have to retire the segment soon. Otherwise,
Yeah,
what do we have left?
that's true.
What else do we have, guys?
Wow. So I guess real quick recap. We learned about Gabriel Belmont. We learned that he has more neck than any other part of his body. He and Sir Patrick Stewart fought some colossi from Shadow of the Colossus.
His name is what? Zabumafu?
Yeah, Zabumafu. Karen,
Yep.
David Duchovny's wife from Californication, was there, but she was a ghost.
Mary or Marie is her name. I do recall.
Very nice. We met a weird orphan girl with a robot master. We
Mute
killed
lady.
her.
We killed her and her robot master.
Yeah, we killed her and the robot master and got a robot hand.
The very evil robot hand.
Yeah, and then we fought a butcher demon, and that was where we stopped.
Well, you forgot about the wolf boy and the big eagle.
Yeah, Wolf Boy, Big Eagle,
We
and
fought-
don't
we
forget about
fought-
Ghost Horse.
Ghost horse, yes. We fought King Dog, and we killed King Dog, and then we flew on a big old eagle, a very rude eagle. And
We killed a
then-
witch made out of crows.
and a bunch of crows that sounded like bats, and then we rode a ghost horse, and then killed a butcher boy, and then we are doing this now.
Yeah, and it all looked like garbage Darksiders, big puffy Gears of War boys because Western developers don't know how to art direct. So there's that. Come at me on Twitter. God damn it, I'll fight you.
Oh, you're
But,
actually asking to be added.
Oh shit, look at that. How the times they a change. But
They
yeah, so
changed.
now we're here. Now we're halfway through the game. We're at the top of Chapter 7. We don't have generalities to cover, so this is not going to be another 4-hour extravaganza. We're going to talk about the game, and then towards the end, we're going to talk about the DLCs that we did not play. I can confirm Isaac and myself are copies of Lords of Shadow, otherwise known as. So our Ultimate Edition came stacked to the brim with 2 DLC episodes at the end, and the game doesn't do a very good job of letting you know that's DLC. It's just kind of like press A to continue. After
Yeah,
you
I
beat
thought
the
it was
game.
part of the game, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Which kind of led to me not really liking it all that much, per a conversation that me and Sam had. But taken as DLC, it's okay. It's more of the same. But yeah, let's talk about the game.
Chapter 7. Balcony.
Part 1, balcony. I guess level
Yeah.
1. I don't know why I've got it split up in my notes as part 1. Yeah, so this is post-Butcher. Interestingly enough, these little load screens that they're using as Band-Aids, we learn more about the ecosystem fueling this castle, because I definitely wanted to know how this castle operates. And
very weird.
Zolbeck. I keep saying Zobek.
It's all the same.
Yeah, he tells us essentially that vampires feed dead bodies to the ghouls and then feed on the ghouls and then use the dead bodies to feed more ghouls, blah, 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 blah.
Which feels so backwards. Why not just eat the people that you're the dead bodies?
Because people are gross.
Yeah.
Ghouls on the
Ghouls
other
are pretty. Those ghouls are pretty fucking disgusting.
Yeah, they're pretty gross.
It's an
Not in a
acquired
hot way
taste.
or a cool way or like a oh shit way, but just kind of like in a ugh.
In a hot way.
Don't
see.
worry about it. Don't worry about it. But yeah, Zobek says as well that the Dark Lord of Shadow has the ability to cast glamour on Gabriel and that we should be worried, but I don't think you should be worried because it just never happens. So there's that. I did really quickly want to put down a sort of quick mention. I don't think we mentioned it before. So I went and played better Castlevania games a little bit between recordings, and I realized that the Vampire Hunter, which is the name for the crucifix that Gabriel has or whatever, the Battle Cross, it is actually the name of the whip of the Belmont family in the original games. So look at that.
Cool.
Also,
there?
whatever the fuck that vampire general, his name was in chapter 5.
Olrox?
What's it? What is it? What?
Or Browner.
Yeah, him and his brother, who we will meet here shortly, are actually, they both appear in Castlevania, like the main games.
Yep.
As do some of the other bosses. I was actually kind of surprised by that because I didn't think that this game dabbled too much in the original source material, but I think they did. It was all right. Yeah. But yeah, then we battle the Sword Masters again here.
First things first, I want to give credit to this level for having just a real A+ aesthetic.
Oh, the music here is fucking sick too, by the way.
The music is great. The camera, like the intro shot panning through the hallway and out into the snowy castle is great. A+.
Yeah. I will say, unless specified otherwise, as we push through this last half of the game, the environments and the music are actually really fucking cool.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to point out a couple creature designs. There were a couple creature designs that I was like, oh my God, this is really good.
Yeah, they got so the way that I've been explaining it, so I'm going to be a little bit more positive throughout this section than I was on the last two parts. But the way that I explained it to Alessio as we were playing, or as I was playing to like finish the game, was that it felt like after a certain point, and my specific point is chapter 8, they like woke up and were like, "Oh fuck, we were supposed to make a good game," and then they made a pretty okay game, and then forgot to fix. They didn't have time to fix the rest of it.
Yeah, it's weird. Typically, it's the other way around, right? Like typically, you think people would like front load the better shit, and then like as the budget and the schedule keeps going, that they slowly start to like either run out of time or run out of money. Yeah. But in this game, it's kind of weirdly backwards, and it makes me wonder if the front half got made after the back half.
But also,
Well, it feels-
I want to point out, like, the first 6 chapters each one had at least, like, 4 or 5 or more levels.
Oh, yeah. I think
Some of
chapter
them
2
had,
has like
like,
7 or 8 parts.
Yeah, but then the second half, I think all of them had, like, between 2 and 4.
Yeah, I think
Tops.
4 was the max.
So I think they, like, tightened that down, which made it feel better almost. Either they got lazy and they're like, we only need 2 levels. Or
the
or
last
maybe
chapter
they
in particular
tightened
is
up.
just like, fuck it. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go. It's just called Final Fight.
Yeah.
Like, that seems copyright.
Yeah, it's like somebody forgot to rename the level after it passed through QC. They were just like, whatever. It's like all a lowercase, like final_fight.exe. It's like, what?
That would make it like, I think if like you did that and then it just became like this meta, like we're hacking into the world of Castlevania at the end of the game, I think it would make it like the best game of all time.
Yeah, and it would have predated like the 300 indie games that were going to do that a couple years later.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Hack the planet.
yeah, not specifically
Hack
Castlevania, but just like the hack meta context.
Hack the Vania.
Hack the Vania.
Hashtag hack the Vania.
Yes. But this level kind of commits something that I think is horribly wrong and has happened before. There's an off-screen ledge that requires you to backtrack to obtain a key. Mm-hmm. I really hate that. This game actually does it a couple times before the end, where it'll hide specific shit that you need to progress, like behind the camera.
Yeah.
And you're just like, how in the fuck was I supposed to know? Like, specifically when we get to the, I almost said the Grave of the Giants. That is Tomb of the Giants is a Dark Souls level. I think it is like the Cemetery of the Titans or whatever. Yeah. Oh my God. Does somebody need a lesson on visual design? Because I got lost so much.
Yeah.
Talking about the foggy area?
Yeah, with like all the like
it's the jumping
crumbled
shit. Like I fell in that poison water so much.
And you move so slow and it's so hard. We'll get there.
Yeah. Okay, I hated that part. Yeah. Anyway, we'll
Cliff notes, Isaac hated it. Moving on. But no, so anyway, I mean, there's not much to say about this part, if I'm being totally honest. I mean,
it's very short. Like, it's a very short, you have to jump down, grab a key, and then jump up and go through the gate. And the gate leads to, for some reason, a walled-off window.
Correct. Which,
Whatever.
Don't forget about what's in the room. We have fucking puppets galore, baby.
It's
we
foreshadowing.
Oh yeah, some gore shadowing. We have a bunch of like what looks like it's almost like giant Mr. Bubbles dolls from BioShock. It's just like a bunch of like big stuffed Big Daddies and creepy clowns and stuff. But there's actually kind of neat little puzzle. It's this little ball dropping puzzle. It's like a little pachinko or not pachinko.
Plinko.
Yeah, Plinko. It's a Peggle. You're playing Peggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing I wanted to make note of is, Sam, you were absolutely not wrong. These fucking Swordmasters drop entire stones on death.
Mm-hmm. Told you. And then you stopped using them on the bosses and realized that the mobs was better.
Yeah, I did that too, and it was way easier. The game became a cakewalk.
Except for at the end of this chapter.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this little ball puzzle, did you guys have a good time with it? I thought it was pretty self-explanatory. Essentially, you drop the little ball, it turns a little lever, and the goal is to get all the red levers to turn green. So you kind of have to like drop it through a few different key spaces. I picked up on it pretty quickly. Did you guys have any trouble with it?
I did not like this.
So matter of fact. Tell me why. Tell us why.
It was just the solution was just very not, to me it wasn't good. It was like, I don't know if this will spoil it to any listeners, but the first one you dropped,
they've gotten
to the
this far.
left-
I think spoiler alert is up. Like we're getting in pretty deep.
Well, if you don't want me to ruin the puzzle for you, the answer was you put it in the left one first, and then a whole bunch in the middle, and then the right one. And I'm like, all right, that's okay.
Isaac's like, and I'm done. Yeah, pretty much it.
I will say the concept of it wasn't like complicated or bad. I actually didn't mind it. But I did feel like I was just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall when I was doing it. It's like, I'll put this here now. I kind of lost myself on it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones where, I guess unlike the chess game, so the chess game like auto clears when you pay to do it, or to lose the experience or whatever. I did the give me the hint and let me lose all of my experience maybe once during this back half of the game. I don't know how the fuck they would do this one without just like solving it for you.
Right.
So I'm not sure.
No clue.
But anyway,
so that's how they when you pay to solve, pay to win. That's how they do it. They don't actually solve it for you. They just kind of give you a hint.
Yeah, so I thought they solved it, but it turns out
that's what
that
I
was
thought.
just on the chess game. What it actually does for the other ones is you just get like a sketchbook drawing of the order in which to win the puzzle.
Oh.
And like it seems kind of like a shitty trade-off because it's like, why am I going to spend all the experience to just still have to go through the motions and do the puzzle?
Yeah.
Which like I'm not saying, like I just don't know why they even included it in the game, I guess. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, include a hint system, but like don't go all or nothing. Like it feels kind of like you're punishing anybody who just needs a hint. But
Yeah.
anyway, we enter part 2, the electric laboratory. Sam, can you tell me whose lab this is?
It's literally Frankenstein's lab. It's not like a facsimile of Frankenstein. It's not like Frankenstein or like Frankenstein or whatever. It's actually fucking Frankenstein.
Yeah. And I will say, in the history of Castlevania, they ape on the Universal monsters a lot. Like in the original games, there's just like mummies and Frankensteins and Draculas and yeah.
Somebody's
real
gonna get
stoked
real
on
mad
Bram
at you because you just said Dracula's and Dracula is one person and you just said Frankenstein's and
I'm
Frankenstein was the doctor.
I am aware.
Rah, 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 don't at me.
Oh no. Good Alessia Summerfield impression.
You're welcome. Thank you. I don't know why I said you're welcome.
But yeah, so essentially, based on the little bit of exposition we get from Sir Patrick Stewart, who's being surely underpaid for reading this garbage, the Vampire Queen took Frankenstein and used him as a feeding bank indefinitely, forever, for some reason. And yet, we never see him, I don't think.
I had this like assumption that the thing that was inside the spider was him.
Yeah, but then you encounter the spider like 3 more times.
Well, yeah, but like, you only encounter it twice, and the thing is inside of it both times.
Oh, okay. I actually kind of like that fight, but we'll talk about it. I think there's.
I don't like this first one. I like the
there's
second
something
one.
else we need to talk about, which is, I think, one of the most egregious design decisions in this entire game. Why the fuck do I need to jump punch a button on the floor precisely, not only several rooms at a time in order to get through this crazy puzzle, but also you're going to start testing me on how to do it at the drop of a hat to fight a boss. Sam, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with this? Because it seemed like you were equally frustrated.
I fucking hated this. So,
did you find a trick? It sounds like you found a trick when you were texting me. What's the trick?
Like in like chapter 11, like in the 11th hour, I figured out
literally
how to do
the
it
11th hour.
The 11th hour.
Yeah. So to do this, so you have to run up to it, jump like a click before, and then like hold down and press the punch button immediately.
Interesting. Yeah,
it's very strangely precise, but once I figured it out, it worked every time.
The crazy part is they let you rotate Gabriel in midair during the punch.
Yes.
And that really fucks me up.
Yeah, the way you do it, like, that's not reliable at all. The way you have to do it is you have to come at it from the angle you want, and then don't mess with his positioning in the air.
Gotcha. So for those of you at home who are not playing or choosing not to play, or hi Rachel, you are listening, even though you have no experience whatsoever with this game or this franchise, just because you're an awesome person. So thank you. You, in this scenario, are dealing with a maze of Tesla coils. And in order to trigger certain Tesla coils to go off and certain ones to come on, to kind of make your way through a maze, you are having to jump punch buttons on the ground exactly in their dead center to trigger things to move.
And now here's the shit thing about it too, is that this jump ground pound punch is not just a thing he can do. That is a thing you have to buy with experience.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you haven't, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, please do at me and let me know. But I'm pretty sure you have to. I remember buying this ability with experience. So if you're going through here and you don't have this ability, you don't have enough experience to bite, you're fucking hosed. You have to leave, grind, come back.
Oh yeah, my favorite combination of things: leaving, grinding, and then coming back.
It seems like a really bad design choice, which is why now I'm not sure if that's actually the case, but I recall in my brain having to buy it. So if that's not the case, please let me know. But I'm pretty sure it's the case.
Yeah, if you weren't doing the Alessio Summerfield method of, I just have all this experience that I don't really want to do anything with, and you were just buying fucking everything just to make numbers go away, you might get here and be unable to progress. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of, I don't want to sit here and sketch out exactly what these solutions are, so I don't really know what to really mention besides this boss. The one thing I did want to point out on my notes is that the solution that you get for paying with experience points, and I'm not too proud to admit, I got to this puzzle, I knocked out the first few rooms, and I was like, okay, I get it. I just want to pay to
They just get more buck wild as they go.
I was like, I just want to pay to progress from a time standpoint. Like, I get the puzzle. I'm already fucking 20 hours in or something. I'm just going to pay the toll and walk.
Maybe that's why we have this DLC loot box craze now. So they were just like, Castlevania Lords of Shadow, they released that game and you could pay with your experience points. Let's try that with actual money.
Oh no. Yeah, but why would you? Why am I paying to beat a game? Why not? It's supposed to be fun to beat. But anyway, so I was like,
you're paying to beat a game when you buy a game, Alessio.
That's true. It's supposed to be the act of beating it that you're paying for. That. Anyway, I got several rooms in. I was like, I get it. I 100%. I feel like I've mastered this puzzle. I'm just going to go ahead and pay for the solution or whatever, just to kind of truck on through to see what's next in the game. And however, one of the things that I realized is when you pay, the only solution they give you is to the final room. So, of course, I was a room before the final room, and I was looking at the solution, and I was like, this does not track to what I'm looking at. I literally sat there, probably wasted more time being like, how in the fuck does this diagram represent where I am? And then I got through it, and instantly when I got into the last room, I was like, oh, But still found the diagram to be really generally unhelpful, and I actually ended up doing the puzzle by myself and not getting any of the experience. So,
that sucks.
thanks, game. And me. I don't know. I'm just mad. Yeah, Sam, tell us about the spider ribbit.
Yeah, so you do a little bit of stuff. You have to break down a wall, and then you what am I trying to say?
I mean, essentially, the spider mastermind
you
from
break the
Doom
wall,
comes down from the ceiling,
and then so you collect this like red gem or this like shiny red thing that's in this room, and then as you collect it, this giant robot scorpion death machine busts out of a pile of rubble that Gabe is just really intent on focusing on for some reason.
Yeah, he's doing the classic, like, I'm going to look at this car that's about to hit me and just not do anything, Gabe thing.
Well, that's the thing. Like, as far as I remember, there wasn't a noise that happened that would cause him to look in that direction.
He's just staring.
He was just staring at this pile of rubble, and then that apparently triggered this giant spider thing to burst out of the ground. And there's this weird little, like, deformed thing inside of its dome piece that I thought might be Frankenstein.
No, it's Quado from Total Recall.
Oh yeah. But this is shit.
Oh.
So
here's the thing about the boss fight. Essentially, you kind of tank and spank this guy like you would any of the other bosses. You just either taking the hits and swap it. So, like, I don't know. Towards the end of this game, whenever my light magic meter got so high from finding gems and stuff, I literally would just throw on the light magic and just fucking eat hits and just keep punching because you're healing yourself the whole time. And so I got this guy, you get him down to a certain amount of health. However, once he gets to a certain amount of health, they very discreetly, in air quotes, place him underneath a giant laser, and it becomes pretty evident that you have to ground punch a button at a moment's notice. Keep in mind the window here is probably about a second, maybe 2 seconds.
It's very small.
It's a pretty small window. If you miss this button once, you really have like one other shot at the button. And somehow, I told Sam this, I missed the button every time, except I got it exactly in the millisecond before he got back up every time. Mm-hmm. So I would miss it. I would miss it. I would panic. I would jump. I would get it right as he was standing up. And I did it 3 times in a row.
And you're a lucky son of a bitch.
And then this little second that you miss it, he regenerates like half of his health.
Oh, yeah.
So, then you have to do it all over again.
Yeah, I went through that so many fucking times because I just couldn't get the fucking ground pound to do what I wanted. And the big shit about it is that when you're in combat, the ground pound automatically wants to aim towards enemies.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So I think that's why I missed the first time every time, because I would wind it up, and as soon as I'd let go, Gabe would move towards the boss, and then eventually, and this might have been how you do the trick that you're talking about, I would just release it quick enough to where he wouldn't auto lock.
That could be. Yeah.
It is rough, man. I think second to the final boss, which I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys right now, I almost had an Alessio's going to throw the fucking controller across the room situation with the final boss. There's a certain sequence of things that happen that I just kept having to knock the guy down, watch him heal himself while I couldn't get to him to initiate the interaction, and just rinse and repeat for way too long on the final boss.
That's what that's what this felt like for me.
Yeah.
The final boss felt like this for you.
Yeah, I think the timing on that final boss just really, I don't know what it was. I could not comprehend when to switch, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Isaac, did you have trouble with this too? Like, how did you feel about these buttons? Because
I kind of feel bad because I had a little bit of trouble, but it sounded like you guys had a real bad time with this one. To me, it wasn't that fun, but like it was not terrible, I don't think.
Listen to MLG Pro Isaac over here.
Well,
Dude,
I'm also
everybody gets their time to shine, and this is Isaac.
I'm also on easy, so here we are.
Hey, I was on easy too. Don't wave that in my face. Easy doesn't adjust this. Easy just makes you take more hits, Isaac.
So the ground pound.
Easy isn't easy.
Easy's not.
Easy isn't easy like other easies.
Correct.
So for me, the ground pound was like at first I was doing the same thing where I would miss it every single time and have to do it all over again. But I noticed that if you're just like directly over the button and you do it, then you'll hit it.
What? How does that work? 'Cause Gabe like launches forward. How'd you get him to go straight down?
Oh, I know what you guys are doing. You guys are doing a punch.
Oh
which is X.
my fucking god!
If you
Wait,
hit
how
Y
are you doing it,
instead,
Isaac?
He does like an actual pound to the ground.
Wait, how? What? I think
Instead
I
of
talked over
hitting, instead of doing
like left trigger and X.
left trigger X, you do left trigger Y.
Fuck off!
I was like, you guys are.
I don't want to
thought
talk
maybe
about
it
this
was
game
something-
anymore. Can we just stop now? Isaac, moving forward, if you could just keep that kind of shit to yourself.
Yeah, just keep
that'd be
that
great.
shit to
I didn't know you
yourself.
guys.
I'm angrier now than I was playing it. It is not your fault, sweet Isaac, but I'm just so mad at myself and at this fucking video game. Holy shit.
Yeah, so
you
keep
guys-
in mind real quick, this game that over tutorializes fucking like walking
Yes.
doesn't even give you a button prompt for this or anything.
No,
It just
I
like
agree.
there's a note on a dead body that's like maybe if I punch the floor. And
I
there's
can't
just so
remember-
many there's so many button combinations.
I can't remember how
That's
I
the thing
figured
that
it
this
out.
game does. The only way that you've known to punch the floor in the past has been to fucking do the thing with the punch.
All right.
Yeah.
Isaac,
I don't
do you
know
remember
how I
having to
found it
buy
out.
this ability, or do you
What?
the ground pound? Do you remember having to buy that ability, or
See, that's the thing. I don't remember. I don't know if I bought it or not.
I think it comes with the fist when you get the fist from
that's what I think.
That sounds
That's what I
right.
think is probably too. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
cool. So part 3, Chromatic Observatory.
Fuck.
Yeah, so this I don't know, man. I've got
Oh,
a note
no,
here
no, no.
that like
Wait. Before we do that, I want to talk about how after you kill the boss, there's a cutscene where a rat presses a button on accident, gets fried to death, and then clears the way for you to complete the rest of the puzzles.
That's
so you
right.
can leave the
I forgot about that.
level.
Yeah.
Which is
fucked
just
up.
like how random is this chance that this rat would kill itself?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What would have happened if the rat didn't show up?
I have a quick question. Is this puzzle impossible for colorblind people?
Oh shit!
Quite possibly.
Because it's using red and blue. I think those things don't register, right? Or am I thinking of green and red?
I think it's.
I know red and green is a type of colorblind. I don't know if red and blue is, but
Gotcha.
maybe somebody who's colorblind can tell us
That's
about
true.
that.
I think there might be. This game actually has like a pretty decent amount of options under the hood for like turning on health meters and all this other shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a good colorblind mode in here. I'm sorry that we
Yeah.
didn't inspect deep enough into the accessibility features, but anyway.
Also,
I did inspect deep enough into the costume features.
Oh
though.
yeah, have you beat it?
jeez.
What were you saying, Isaac?
I was just gonna say, can we talk about the Men in Black thing that happens? I mean, with the Spider-Man.
The Men in Black thing
what?
that happened.
Yeah, there's like this weird brain creature that crawls into like the cockpit of the
Oh, yeah.
spider.
Yeah, Sam mentioned
Yeah,
it.
that's what I think is Frankenstein.
Oh, that's who you thought was Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yucky.
like he's been Camilla's like slave this whole time, and so he's just like this weird like
Just-
Quado looking creepy
Okay.
thing.
I wonder if it says that in the book, because I know the book gives you information on all the enemies and stuff. I wonder if the little
Oh
book.
shit, it might.
Yeah, we fucked up.
Oh, and then as you leave the level, the robot twitches back to life.
Oh yeah, creepy.
no.
Anywho's it. So Patrick Stewart here does a really, really
Yeah,
dive.
Zaddy Warbucks. As I
Yeah,
call him.
Zaddy Warbucks fights hard to try and convey how tired and worn out Gabriel is, but I wish the game would just show me the fatigue instead of telling
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, he's fucked. He doesn't sleep, and he's fucked all the way up, and very angry. And that this next puzzle might break him for good.
Oh yeah, I actually. So here's the deal. I actually kind of enjoyed this puzzle. So you.
I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, so they get a little bit more inventive. You enter this room where the whole goal is you're using this room as sort of like a wheel, and you go down these different spokes, and as you go down each spoke, you get a new lens that's colored a different way, and by setting up the colors in this machine, it shines a light through the lenses, and the color of the light determines what doors are opened, or if you accidentally awaken some of the animated armors or what have you in this hallway. It's pretty neat. I don't know... Before sort of the cutscene stuff starts to happen with the what is her name? Camilla? No.
Laura.
Camille? What's the Nope, Laura. Yes. Before Laura shows up, was there anything too terribly much. Do you guys want to talk about with this puzzle? I mean, there's some climbing sections. Most of these rooms kind of spill out into combat arenas where you have to fight a bunch of sword masters before you can kind of take the prize and go back. Did you guys? Was there anything notable that jumped out at you guys?
I had a little bit of trouble with like the dashing around the square thing because I forgot about holding down the L2 button to like speed forward. But
yeah, so
other than that,
there's those tiles that come back, the sort of the evil shadow magic armor dashing tiles where essentially there's some arrows that point in a specific direction and you just kind of have to dash before the fire leaves the floor.
Yeah.
But other than that, I had a little bit of trouble, but I figured it out eventually, and then it helped me better in the rest of the game, which is what a good game should do.
Very nice.
But I don't have anything else aside from that unless Isaac has something.
Well, I was just gonna say, I only did half of these doors.
Oh, for sure.
I didn't know.
So I don't know why. I ended up doing, I think, the 4. So there's 4 major doors.
Yeah.
I think there's 1 bonus door. And then behind one of the suits of armor is it's either a light or a shadow magic crystal. But yeah,
a couple of
the
major reasons to go through the some of the doors doesn't like make sense for you to do until you have the wings.
Oh, correct. Yeah, which we'll get a little bit later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we kind of go through this main door. I believe it's like a magenta colored door, if I remember correctly.
Purple.
Yeah, excuse me, royal purple.
Yes.
But Laura comes back, and she brought some of her boogeymen looking Nightmare Before Christmas dolls with her.
Yeah, animated, they kind of look like Devil May Cry animations.
Oh, 100%.
Like the scarecrows.
1,000,000% got that. Yeah, they look pretty cool. Yeah, they're all kind of stitched together and kind of walking crazy. And I really enjoyed this fight, actually. If anything, it actually pushed me to better engage with the combat system. So I actually found a combo that I really, really enjoyed, and I ended up using it a lot. For those of you playing on a PlayStation controller, it is square, square, triangle, triangle. And then if you jump, so it's like light attack, room attack, and then if you jump, you'll actually do like a corkscrew attack into the air. And then what I would do is hit R2 or right trigger to like grapple the enemies down below and kick them on the way down. And then as I was coming out of it, I would hit square, square again while I was in the air, and then I would finish with the charge punch that me and Sam were doing to hit the buttons. And doing that combo, that kind of rotation, I was able to do that full rotation twice on each of these boogeymen and wipe them out pretty fast. It was pretty sick, man. I don't know. It was cool. It looked really flashy. I was like, "Shit, dude, I got it. I locked it in."
I'm struggling to like understand, like reconcile the fact that if the combo system is actually deeper than we thought it was, or if we were just bad at it.
It's okay. Both. It's not bad. I think, unfortunately, the game... I really wish... So Bayonetta does this really cool thing where between every level, while it's loading, you're kind of left in a void with Bayonetta.
You can practice the combos.
Yeah, and you can practice the combos, and it shows the combo inputs to the right. So I really wish this game would have done something like that, because honestly, until I decided to jump in the middle of like my regular, like, let me mash square and triangle a bunch, I didn't even realize that I could like combo into the air, combo out of the air, and just keep it going. And there's some pretty cool ones too, where you like hit triangle a couple times and then hold it, and he'll do this kind of like infinite whip, and then as soon as you let go, he'll end it on like a big charge smash. There's some cool moves.
Yeah, I started seeing the point of actually buying some of that weird shit, so...
Yeah. On the bosses, I don't know... Like, it worked better with the enemies, because on the bosses, midway through half of these fucking combos, they're going to block or they're going to charge at you anyway.
Yeah.
But with the regular enemies, it's pretty cool to kind of experiment and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know if you got to this point in this battle, Alessio, but this battle also sees the return of the goo from the Black Knight
correct.
battle.
Yep. So I think it's on the last few puppets, the black goo will kind of materialize underneath them and kind of chase you as well. But I think since I was in the air for a lot of those combos, it didn't really affect me too much.
And the other thing about this battle too is that you have to beat them down and use the grapple finisher on them. Otherwise, they just keep on coming back.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, well, so here's what I figured out, because I was I was still like really kind of seething from the button chapter.
Oh yeah.
Or level, and I just wanted to get it over with, so I summoned the titty demon, and then they just came back. And then I was
Oh, I see.
God,
Huh.
you have to do the grapple and like kill the spirit inside of them, and then they'll stop coming. But you can
You pull
end
their
it
little
just by
boogeyman
killing the
bug.
3 of them.
Yeah, you pulled the little boogeyman bug out of him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so essentially, whenever you get done with this, Laura kind of like Senator Palpatine's you. She like hits you with the fucking electric hands.
And then the scene that this game has not earned at this point. He's being electrocuted, and Laura's like, I don't want to play anymore, and starts killing the fuck out of him. And then Marie shows up and just tells him to keep fighting, and Gabe says, I've done questionable things. And
then Laura's like, oh my God, they're in love. I'm sad now. Get out of here, Gabriel.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening?
She says she envies them both and doesn't want to play anymore. And then
man.
the chapter ends.
Yeah.
I just thought it was hilarious that he said, I've done questionable things.
Yeah, and I like how she's just like, no matter who you are, where you've been, where you're from. Yeah, but it really drives me nuts because if I were her, I would have been like, questionable. What kind of questionable? Like, are we talking some like R. Kelly shit? Like, what have you done?
Oh, fuck.
Because depending on the answer, I would have fucking gotten out of there, dude. I would have been like, I'm going to heaven.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm no longer tethered to this world. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, see ya, baby. Maybe the questionable thing is the fact that you, spoiler alert, killed your fucking wife and didn't know about it, you sick fuck.
Whoa.
Hey.
We don't know that yet.
Not so quick.
Sorry. All right, Chapter 8.
Alessio.
Chapter 8, Part 1, outer Wall.
But yeah, that happened.
So, Zangief's pre-level narration here.
Fuck, how did I not do that one yet?
I don't know. It's a stroke of genius, and I don't get it. But it started like really solemn and sweet, and then it got real hardcore. It's like essentially he goes like, a child's love is precious and perfect, and also I hope this kid's okay when we murder the fuck out of her mom. Like,
yeah,
he's got it out for Camilla. He does not like Camilla.
Yeah, he literally says, I wonder is it Laura or is it Camilla? Oh, Camilla's the mother, right?
Yeah, Camilla's like the lord.
So he's like, I wonder what will happen when we send her mother to the pits of hell.
Yeah.
My note was just ruthless.
Yeah. Metal AF.
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, so Vampire Land is taking way longer than Werewolf World. I just want to put that out there. My follow-up question was, how many castles do these guys have?
So many castles. Also, my other question here is that you have another puzzle that you have to do here, with the runes and the door.
Oh yeah, actually that was pretty good.
No, it's a pretty good puzzle. Like, I'm starting to be okay with it at this point. And the thing and this is chapter 8. So chapter 8 is where I started to like the game. Now, all of the scrolls that give you like clues for the puzzle, the ones that like let you buy the major hint. Oh yeah, using all of the experience. They always run out of magic energy, and that's why they died. But like, there's fountains right here, dog. How do you run out of energy? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's weird. I have a quick thing for you. I think Dark Souls 2 stole the giant chain walk from this.
Oh.
So like Dark Souls 2 came out in 2014. This game came out in what, 2011?
10,
Is that what it was? 2010? Yeah, so there's a certain point in this game where Gabriel walks along a gigantic chain from one massive castle to another. It's fucking beautiful.
It's the level right after the balcony, I think.
Yeah, no, so it's this level.
Is
Look
it?
at it in my notes. Yeah. So
it
is. Huge
Yeah.
chain walk on this outer wall, and it's super dope. And I was really enjoying it until you get to this like weird resetting circle. So like you have to turn this huge wheel and then run because it doesn't lock. It's like as soon as you finish turning it, you have to run and like jump through the door.
Well, so if you turn it all the way, there's actually, if you go off to the right, it's easier to jump off the right to the ledge below than it is to get through the front door.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and that puts you down the stairs where you have to go to get the key anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, it's super quick. That's pretty much the whole level. And then we end up in part 2, The Clockwork Tower, another Castlevania reference. Look at that. This is another Frankenstein original.
This is the one where he calls her a bitch.
Oh,
Where
is it
Uncle
really?
Zeke, Uncle
How did I not
Uncle
write
Zeke
that down?
calls her a bitch. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, so Zacuto, just straight unrequested and out of nowhere in the middle of his pre-level loading screen banter, is like doing his little purple prose, very flowery language, and then he's like, the bitch in the middle of it, and you're like, whoa, Patrick
Which
Stewart.
I can imagine Patrick Stewart going, the bitch, well, I say. That seems a bit uncalled for.
Yep. Captain Jean-Luc Picard himself saying the bitch.
And this level,
It's pretty cool. It looks cool, but it's a little frustrating.
well, I actually liked it. As despite the game's, I would argue, despite the game's strong suit not being platforming, I actually thought it was neat.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. I think the reason why I say frustrating is because this has another, again, completely unprompted situation where if you hold R2 or the right trigger and you don't just tap it, you are permanently trapped trying to turn a fucking wheel that won't turn. And that was very frustrating. But besides that, I actually thought it was really cool the way it's assembled. Essentially, you're in this living level where everything's clockwork and kind of moving and turning and everything's going up. One note that I had for Sam with the titty demon, did you notice that the very statue at the beginning that we see is this demon woman kind of coming out of a crystal, and she has bare breasts and her belly has the same markings as the titty demon.
Oh, interesting. I did not notice that.
So interesting. I don't know what the fuck it means, but and I don't care to know what it means. But
That's an interesting remark.
then we find another spider robot. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, the same one.
Correct. I think this is where you'd actually grab the insides, because I've got it
this
in my
is where-
notes that you grab the inside and you pull the creature out of the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, this one's minus the button, so this is just like a
Yeah.
straight up fight. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you're able to focus more on the aesthetic of the thing, which is actually, like, as a creature, like as a design, I think it's actually pretty cool. Like, not like anything like new or special, because it's just like a robot scorpion, but like it's cool. It's cool.
Yep.
And it fits within like this aesthetic of the level being clockwork and mechanical and everything too.
Yeah, and they do a pretty cool thing. So you're like turning a cog, and as you're turning it, the camera view actually reveals to be like a POV for the spider. And so in the middle of turning it, the camera itself kind of starts to move towards you, and you're like, whoa, and then the spider comes out, and you're like, oh, hell yeah, time to fight.
Yeah. Which is a better way to do that perspective thing than the skeleton introduction back in chapter 6.
Oh my god. the weird joke like Scooby-Doo bullshit. Jesus. Then we fight the first boss of this area. I guess he's sort of the mini boss before the big boss. It's Olrox, who is the brother of the vampire general we took down in the town. He literally
And
says the
Olrox-
line, "You shall not pass."
Yep. Olrox was boss in Symphony of the Night.
Yep. I thought he was a pretty fun boss. I think
I thought
I thought he was until the repetitiveness kicked in.
at the end.
Yeah, are you talking about with the
Yeah.
multiple, with the
The werewolf thing.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about Olrox. I think overall as a boss, I think that this Olrox is a better Olrox than the one in Symphony of the Night.
Whoa.
Because the one in Symphony of the Night is kind of annoying. Like the first phase of the battle is actually not that bad. He just kind of teleports around a little bit, but then he turns into like this weird giant lizard thing, and like it's really hard to like block his attacks and dodge his attacks, so it's just very frustrating. The ending was a little repetitive, but it wasn't like frustrating.
Yeah.
Easy for you to
And-
say, Sam.
Whoa. Well, I thought the little corpses. So, just to paint the picture, we're fighting this giant vampire lord at the top of a tower. It's a pretty typical fight, kind of the 1v1 style fights that we've been doing with the Dark Lords up until this point. However, once he gets to a certain health percentage, he will crack open an Iron Maiden. Kind of
Cold
just
one
full-
with the boys.
Yeah, there's 4 of them. He'll crack open an Iron Maiden, and he'll suck out the blood from a corpse that's left in the Iron Maiden. Kind of makes no sense, because the whole point of Iron Maidens is to drain the blood out of the person inside of them. So I'm not really sure why there's still blood. But he kind of dusts off a half-smoked cigarette butt, so to speak, and he'll top himself off. And the frustrating part is he will, no matter what, do this 4 times. And you just have to destroy the corpse of the enemy while he's like feeding on it.
I felt
Did you
like it was
Did you have difficulty, Isaac?
a little unnecessary. No, I just felt it was unnecessarily long. Like it didn't need to do it 4 times.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
then
Yeah, I got it after
twice
twice.
would have been acceptable, I think.
Yeah. unless you're gonna do something cool mechanically with those corpses, like let me
Like
poison
different-
it or something. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So, and then somebody leaves their witness puzzle in my Castlevania game, and we have to do a quick little line drawing thing with some blood.
Yeah.
It's okay. There's like a pattern
was-
on the
it
floor,
was-
and you got to draw with the blood. And once you get to, you like run out of blood unless you race to these little like
Cups or something.
cups
Yeah.
in
White
it.
bubbles,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's I don't know. It's okay.
It's like I felt like I was stretching myself a little thin trying to like race there on the last couple, but it wasn't like it was a little annoying, but it wasn't like bad.
Yeah,
And it was different. I'm like giving this game props for doing different shit at this point in the game.
yeah. At this point, though, the variety feels like less like novelty and more like they're just trying whatever the fuck they can to keep it engaging.
Which like fuck man. At this
Yeah,
point,
fair enough.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah,
So whatever.
Let's just see some more shit.
Yeah.
So enter part 4, the throne room. This is our big boss.
The really quick, the narration ahead of this one, Zerzatrix Stewart calls her
Ziggy Stardust.
poor, calls the Lord of Shadow poor beautiful Carmilla, which now paints these like really angry things he's been saying about her this whole time, like he's ranting about a really bad ex, as opposed to just having a real big dislike of vampires.
I didn't think about that. That kind of makes me wonder, given what we'll learn about Zigida Zuda Zuzu later on.
Oh yeah, Zebediah.
Zigzagoon.
Zebediah? Yeah, Zigzagoon.
I'm going to have to hold on to these Z names. I'm sorry.
How did I not think of Zigzagoon?
Yeah. But yeah, so my Elvira meter was going off pretty hard here. That
Oh,
means
I don't understand how she's got this dress on without some real solid tape. Either
It's
that or her
wild.
nipples are way off to the side of her boobs.
oh yeah, classic like anime style. Like
Oh, yeah.
we just didn't paint any nipples on this woman, which is weird
this
considering how much nipple we've seen up until this point.
Oh yeah, specifically from Titty Demons.
Yeah, so,
This outfit's gonna be a big no from me, dog. Isaac, let's
What's
get
up?
your thoughts.
Well, you all know
who
what
wore it
I
best,
think.
Isaac, Sam, or Carmilla?
Whoa.
Well, let me see a picture of Sam real quick.
Just any picture?
Well, he's gotta have the same outfit, obviously.
I see. Yeah, so
Yeah, I'll just grab that out of my closet.
Yes.
won't I?
although my Elvira meter was going off, I think that's just proportionate to the fact that there's this like hardcore goth witch woman with a lot of cleavage. 100% I would say Elvira's got way more style than this woman, and I felt like the costume design was kind of shitty, honestly.
Yes.
I think like comparatively speaking, to like because like the one that we like Cornell who we
Like
had
I
before.
love some goth chick fashion, but I felt like this just kind of looked kind of bad.
it looks really awkward.
Yeah, it was very weird.
She
it
did
was,
not
It was
wear
it was very titillating.
Oh no. Yeah, it's kind of goofy. Anyway, yeah, so essentially before we fight her have to fight off a bunch of her little vampires.
She offers to show him a bunch of pleasures, and he's like, "Nah, dog. That's why the world sucks." And
Yeah.
yeah.
And
And then, and here's the thing. I will say, like the Cornell's was pretty cool, and like the monologue that she goes on before the battle is also pretty cool too. And she goes, he tells her that he's going to combine the three powers of the Lords of Shadow to save the world, and she goes, she asks him who the real monster is if he's willing to kill the Order's founders in cold blood. And I was like, that's pretty savage.
yeah. But then he pulls the whole like, safety of the few is least important when we're talking about everybody. Mm-hmm. And she's like, all right, fuck it. And so, yeah, battle mode.
Yep.
Yeah, so just like Cornell before her, we kind of do this like initial fight, and then she kind of beast modes into her like true form, so to speak.
It's kind of gross. And
Yeah, her true
shitty.
form isn't as inventive as some of the upcoming boss fights, I would say.
Yeah.
She just kind of looks like a big, nasty rat woman with bat wings a little bit. I mean, it's spooky, but it's whatever. Yeah, effectively, you kind of do sort of this typical rinse and repeat, like pummel her a bunch, dodge her attacks, and then eventually you get to punch her with your electric hand, which is kind of neat. And then I will say Gabe's finisher here. Holy
Punch her
shit.
with your electric hand is the exact words I have in my notes.
Perfect. Yeah, this is so from this point moving forward, Gabriel, for some reason, completely unexplained, gains the strength of Kratos during cutscenes. He doesn't have that strength during the actual game, but during cutscenes, he has this Deus Ex Machina, like, MacGuffin-ass, I can move a mountain, Chris Redfield bullshit strength.
Oh, yeah.
And
Punch a flaming boulder, fucking do whatever.
Dude, he just, like, grapples this woman, pulls her down out of the sky, and then pierces her on the fucking tip of the castle.
I'm going to be real here. This was fucking awesome.
It was pretty crazy. Yeah, so you're fighting her. She says, fuck this, flies away. Gabe just, like, fucking MLB pitches his cross at her, grabs it, damages her while he's hanging from her, and then eventually manages to stab her through with the tip of the fucking castle. It's nuts.
Yeah, like he's hanging off for, like, some kind of vampire flesh kite.
Oh, yeah.
Which is,
very good way to put that.
Ew.
Yeah. So what we're talking about, his, like, Kratos strength is not him hanging off of her, but the fact that she slams him into the tower and he just, like, plants his feet and just, like, with the strength of his legs as he's trying to yank her down, gets, like, crushes the side of the tower with his legs.
Yeah, it's his love for his dead wife that propels him. And not only does he impale this vampire queen on the top of this castle tower, he then breaks the castle tower off inside of her. And, like, leaves her for dead, which is fucking nuts.
Well, that's the thing. She's still not dead at this point. They have, like, a minor scuffle, and then Gabe actually uses the fucking door opening edition as a stake.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, stabs her in the heart, and then breaks the stake off inside of her.
Yep.
And that's when she dies.
Which is weird, because then we use the stake later.
Yeah. Which is, I was like, I guess we're never going to be able to open a door again. And then we open a door again. Literally one more time.
Oh, yeah.
It's only once.
And it's during a boss fight.
Yeah.
But then we get the Seraph shoulders, which allows us to double jump. And I would argue it's nowhere near as cool and opens up traversal things as it does in the 2D games. It just kind of makes you jump further, which, like, okay. Like, in a game that's this linear, these kinds of powers don't really do much, because it's not like... Yes, it probably opens minor things if I go back and replay the game, but it's not like shit that recontextualizes, like, a big level that I'm a part of. You know what I mean? So...
Yeah.
They just, like, as they go... I will say this. As they go, literally all they do is they make cliffs higher and gaps longer.
Yeah, which, like, if you just didn't have the double jump in there, it wouldn't matter, because they would have designed it differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the backstory, I don't know if you guys read the quote-unquote backstory on these wings.
Shoulders.
Basically, they're like, hey, back in the day, these wings were used to fly short distances, but the powers on them reduced so greatly that they can only,
do light glides. Like, it was so corrupted by Camilla's power, like darkness, that's only able to glide short distances now.
So why does she have them?
Well, she was given them when she was when she founded the Brotherhood.
I see. Gotcha. Oh, one thing that I wanted to point out here, because it is also applicable to the next Dark Lord or whatever, Lord of Shadow. I love that all the Lords of Shadow have the colors of the Brotherhood of Light woven into their initial character design. So, like, Camilla has these shoulders that are the same kind of color as Gabriel's tunic. The next Lord of Shadow, or at least the first phase, has sort of these draping pauldrons. And then I think the first Lord of Shadow had it as like a sash. So I think it's cool that they kind of still have this visual nod to, like, hey dog, I used to be one of your guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so that's the thing. It's like these things, like the dash boots and the wings and stuff, are things that they had before they turned into darkness, essentially.
Yeah, and we can't have cool things like that hammer because Gabe's just stupid and breaks it. So
right, exactly.
There's that.
And even, that's another complaint. Even though I enjoyed the back half of the game way more than the rest of, like, the first half of the game, it's still like, dog, look at this cool weapon that you could be giving me right now. What the fuck?
Yeah. Again, it does make me wonder if they just ran out of time or money.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm sure designing whole new move sets for weapons is probably a pretty time consuming process, especially balancing and stuff. But yeah, so anyway, Pan shows back up and we walk through a blood mirror with like no questions asked.
Yep. And we get transported to the Titan
Bone
graveyard.
World. Yeah. Oh, so we go to Bones Forest. Is where we go.
Ooh,
So
creepy.
Chapter
the
9,
Bone
Part
Forest.
1, Bones Forest. Not Bone apostrophe S Forest. This is Bones Forest. Sick title. A lot of boners here. Just gonna put that out.
You get introduced to a new enemy type called the Headless Burrower, which I actually kind of liked to be.
Oh, dude, they're pretty sick. So
They're-
it's not. This isn't just a Cialis commercial over here in Bones Forest.
Yeah.
It's actually just sort of the first zone to the Necromancer territory. So we get all these cool new Necromancer enemies.
Yeah, which I think the Necromancer enemies are probably like the best like grouping of enemies that the game has for you.
Yeah. These headless burrowers that Sam mentioned, it's kind of neat because they're like zombie bodies, but they're mixed with the sort of iconic Castlevania Medusa heads, where their heads will kind of float around and kind of fuck with you. And then once you destroy all of them, the bodies will kind of resurface to kind of start the process again. I don't know where they're getting all these heads from, but...
Yeah. And then like as you fight the heads above ground, sometimes there'll be like a little circle underneath you where the body is, and it'll grab you and like try and like eat you.
Yep.
And then like the way that they laugh and stuff is like we were talking about like enemies with personalities. Like this is like the first like regular enemy type before like since the Butcher that had personality, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. The shitty part is so they start introducing, like we mentioned, all these puzzles with the double jump. One thing about the double jump that I will say is like it kind of locks you in. That's the one thing I despise is like most games with double jumps, when you hit that second jump, you can kind of re-correct or course correct your flight path like mid-movement. So you can like jump forward and then with a double jump all the way back if you want. Obviously, I don't need this game to be like Quake or like Unreal Tournament or something, but it just kind of sucks that second jump is always going to kind of lock you into where you were jumping the first time. But that being said, they kind of fuck with you because you do all these cool jumping puzzles, which are actually pretty neat. But then
Yeah.
you jump straight into the chupacabras again.
Oh God, fucking Chupacabra!
I fucking hate this thing, and I will tell you the second time that we bump into it for this episode, I just don't understand how this made it in the game. Like it does
I don't either.
nothing. It just pads.
The thing about the second time that it shows up is
second
that
time for this recording.
for this episode, for this
Yeah,
recording, for this like I guess it's the last time it shows up in the game, right?
Yeah.
It's within the constraints of a puzzle where you're surrounded by just a bunch of like really weak enemies, so it's not as annoying.
Yeah, but the
and you're
puzzle's
able-
fucking annoying, and that whole thing would have been subverted without that stupid chupacabra.
Well, yeah, I like the puzzle, but
No, I like the puzzle, but it's like the fact that I'm in the
The fact
last
that you
stretch of
have
the
to do it
game, and they're
because
like,
of the
"Hey, do a quick
chupacabra.
puzzle." Yeah, it's like, ugh.
yeah, I get it, but like they easily could have they could have taken the gong puzzle out, which was really weird, and then just made that puzzle the way you get into the castle.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. Fucking Chupacabra, you have to kill some things and get your powers back. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, just imagine that we talked about how annoying it was, because that's what happens.
And then you get to move into this like haunted cornfield.
Oh yeah, the Woes
And-
War.
Yeah, and you walk up to this very Studio Ghibli looking house.
It's very cool. I actually really dug the house, and I thought the basket ride to the top was very cool.
Yeah, and the aesthetic of the whole thing is very funny. And then you inside.
It's very
you
Spirited Away.
Yeah, it's very Spirited Away. You meet Baba Yaga.
I did not like their portrayal of Baba Yaga at all. Like this
no?
like super bummed me out. So like for anybody who's read like Hellboy comics, or I don't know, has just like dabbled with like weird occult literature, Baba Yaga is supposed to be like cunning and like vain, and she's still vain in this, but like she's supposed to be sort of like cunning and sharp, quick-witted, and sort of this like hyper intelligent, crazy ancient witch who kind of has her hand in a lot of everything.
Yeah,
Baba
and this
Yaga
one,
here
she's
is
just
kind of like a
crazy,
yeah,
like swamp witch lady.
Some old
yeah. And she's
hag.
like, it's not like cool crazy; it's like dumb crazy.
Yeah, and she talks about her master, the king of the angels, said that Gabriel would come, and that he has to get these keys to her music box from the bad scarecrows, so that he can go into the music box and get the rose for her so she could be young again.
The blue rose.
Yeah.
Why can't she just reach into the fucking music box?
Well, it's so small, and there's so many little pokey things in there.
Oh, that's fair. She's got big, creepy, nasty hands.
Yeah, and she's too old and brittle to do it herself.
Yeah. The cool thing about the basket that she pulls you up in is, like, it looks like it's woven out of flesh, and there's, like, teeth around it.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, definitely. If you're going to YouTube anything from this game, like, YouTube this section, because, like, I will say visually it's really cool.
Yeah, visually it's cool, and I thought the scarecrow enemies in this section were actually really cool too.
The scarecrows are fucking sick. Like, this is awesome. Like, I hate that you kind of have to do this, like, weird crow puzzle thing, but it was cool because you get to explore this, like, rundown shack town and using crows and kind of shaking them from different copy-pasted poles that are kind of all over the place. You kind of use the crows to land on where the scarecrows are perched, and it pisses the scarecrows off, and then they fight you, and they are fucking nuts.
They light on fire, and then they get off. And the thing is,
they're made out of, like, hooks and shit. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. There's 3 of them, and when you wake them up, the cutscene is the same. I watched it all 3 times. It was so cool.
Yeah, as did I. And the killing animation is the same on all of them, where, like, Gabriel, like, pins them to the ground with his knee and then rips one of their arms off and, like, decapitates them with their hook hand. It's real cool.
Did you have any trouble with these guys, Isaac? Did you like them too, or?
No, I really like this level, actually. I thought it was one of the more creative sections of the game.
Totally.
And they kind of, like, took more liberties. They were like, oh, this would be kind of interesting. Let's do this.
It's arguably a fetch quest, but it's fun the way that they did it.
But like all the other levels, I felt like were just, here's a castle, do these same puzzles, but this one was kind of different in this, in every aspect, really.
And the scarecrows too. They're so, like, fast, and they're just very herky jerky and cool looking. They're really cool enemies.
They're very Jeepers Creepers.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think like at this point they're probably my favorite enemy, like, type in the game.
Oh yeah. I think these guys are the funnest to fight, but there's one other creature that I love the design, and I think we'll get to it.
Is it, like, later in the necromancer section?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it the necromancers?
No, I mean, those are pretty cool. We'll get to it. I don't want to spoil it until we get to it.
Okay. Don't want to tip your hand. I see.
Oh yeah. The one thing about the scarecrows that I wanted to point out as well that I thought was kind of funny is I didn't really fuck with this all that much, but if you have light magic turned on and you throw butterflies at these guys, holy shit! It takes like 2 or 3 butterflies and or fairies, excuse me, and they just fucking die, like, instantly. Really? It's wild, dude. I, like, tore through this fight. And the cool thing is if you have light magic turned on and you use the fairies, they actually heal you when they explode as well.
Mm-hmm. A really quick note on the fairies. I listened back to the part 1 and part 2 episodes because of course I have to listen to them to find the clips for Instagram Metal Gear Mondays on Instagram. I remember you mentioned that the fairies were, like, just like these weird bare-chested fairies. Like, they're not naked. I went back to the level where you have, like, Pan's, where you meet Pan for the first time to pick up a life rune. And they're straight up naked.
Oh.
That's weird.
Oh, there's, like, Virgin and everything in there?
No, I don't think there's Virgin.
We got Jine?
Virgin. We should... okay.
If there ain't giant, it don't shine, baby. Hold on, let me turn my mix all the way to wet real quick. 1 second.
Oh, gross. Why would you say something like that? That's disgusting. Virgin? I've never heard somebody say... I've heard vagine before. I've never heard virgin before.
Virgin? It's actually Fergine. That's...
Ew. Well, it's making a comeback. It's not just for the 80s anymore.
Oh, no.
Ladies can do whatever they want with their furgines.
Oh, yeah. We support the fur here at Metal Gear Monday.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, real quick. So I, on the climb back to the witch's house, I thought that this was just going to replay the climbing of the little tram basket again or whatever. So I skipped the cutscene. Dawned on me, I just straight skipped the whole final cutscene of the chapter, or of the part as well.
Oh, no.
So what happens? What happens at the end of this part?
So you didn't really miss a whole lot. You get back up there, and Baba says she'll put you in the box, and Gabe is just like, what? And then
Gabe's like, do it.
Yeah. Well, he's very confused. He's like, what are you talking about? And then she tells Gabe to close his eyes, or the spell will blind him, and then she casts a spell, and then
what if she would have kissed
bright
him?
flash, and then the level ends.
Ah, great. They didn't want to animate anything, so they just flash white.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, so part 3, the music box. Gabriel shrinks down. He's in the music box. We have to go get the blue rose because it's going to keep the witch youthful. Quick question. The load dialogue. So Coach Z is clearly still watching us.
Oh, yeah.
Where is he?
Zippo here expresses concern over the fact that Gabe is very small. And he essentially
He's like, they shrink my boy. What do I do?
they shrink my boy. That is no longer a good-looking boy. I do not want to keep this.
Yeah, this is the opposite. We're in Bones Forest. This is the opposite of Cialis. You're making my boy tiny.
I don't want you to. This is my boy. Now he's a shrink-a-dink. What are you doing, Baba Yaga?
Oops,
Why?
Baba, you shrunk my boy. You left him in the washing machine too long.
You put him, honey. I shrunk my boy.
Oh, no.
What are you doing, Baba Yaga?
Yaga,
He's
you
so
shrunk my
upset.
boy.
He's so my boy.
You become like the if you've seen Tim and Eric, when there's a Tim and Eric sketch where two men accidentally run into each other's cars on the street, and in order to determine I don't know who the fuck's gonna pay for the damages, the two men both pull tiny men out of their pockets and they throw the men on the ground, and the two tiny men have a dance off. It's a lot like that. That's what's happening here.
My very talented, beautiful boy.
I wish that you would have been trapped this small for the rest of the game.
That would have made it as like a fucking borrower's situation.
Yeah, I wish that Gabriel's voice got real tiny too, where he's like,
Marie! I have to save Marie! Zippo is so upset about his boy being so small that he vows to kill Baba once Gabe has become full-size boy again.
He got pretty upset about that. Well, I mean, like, why you got to kill Baba?
Well, he also does mention that this whole King of the Angels thing is very disturbing to him.
that's true.
But he's mostly concerned about his boy being so small.
I thought it was funny because after the music box level, you're done. Blah blah blah. Zucchini. The next one, Zucchini goes back and says, "Baba let him pass, whatever. But I went back and I destroyed her."
Whoa!
Yeah.
He killed her.
He kills her. Yeah, he kills
What
her.
the fuck? How are you gonna do that off screen?
Yeah.
I thought I was like, why?
Show me.
Let me.
Yeah, like he literally says at the beginning,
scroll.
the narration for chapter 10, he says, "Baba is no more."
Oh
or
my
the
god!
Baba
I
Yaga
never
is no
noticed
more.
that.
Why would you just let her live?
Yeah, fuck, dog. That's wild. Anyway, let's talk about this puzzle real quick. There's not a lot going on in this level. It's kind of cool. It's a neat little puzzle where you get these jewels to activate additional little gears within the music box to play like extra parts of the song. I actually found the puzzle to be pretty fun. You trigger different parts of the song, and you have to trigger the sequence in such a way that all these different paths, based on the jewels that you have, they correspond with the color of the thing that they unlock, kind of. And so you kind of
like the
play
red
the
one
music back
opens
and
up these
run around.
platforms you can jump on. The blue one has to do with these electricity hallway. Like the fun of it, I like this because the fun of it, is figuring out what each one does and then figuring out the sequence for everything.
Yeah, I liked it. The one thing I did not like was the repetition of the cutscene where to teleport back to the beginning of the puzzle, you get picked up by Baba's giant hand. But I wish after the first one, they could have very easily done, and I think even games as old as like Kingdom Hearts 1 did this, where like if a puzzle used the same transition frequently, they would just cut to like the last frame of the hand putting you down.
Oh,
without
yeah.
showing you the whole cutscene. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that part gets super repetitive, and I kind of got tired of having to press start and skip the cutscene every single time because you end up
same.
repeating a couple times.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The
liked
other thing too is that Baba says like creepy shit, like talking about how good those nights tasted,
Oh yeah.
and like if you get hurt, she'll say things like "You're not worthy. Master said you'd be worthy," and like all this stuff. It's very strange.
So Sam says all this stuff. She really just repeats those two lines over and over.
Yeah,
and over.
well, yeah, it's those things. Yeah, you're right.
Again, kind of dumbing down Baba Yaga as a character, which I kind of wasn't a big fan of. Show some Yaga respect. You know?
Hashtag Yaga respect.
Yeah. Hashtag Yag sisterhood. Or something. I don't know.
Yag sister of the traveling sister Yagas.
Yeah.
Hashtag not my Baba.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. But yeah, I mean, long story short, you get the blue rose, you give it to Baba Yaga. She's excited, and she sends you to hell as payment.
Yep. Then the chapter
but this
ends.
is good? Question
And
mark.
then the chapter ends, and McZoogle is going to kill her off screen.
Correct. Yeah, Zeitgeist just straight murders her, and that's that. This is a real Kratos and Hades feeling level. Like if you've played the original God of War, this is like Kratos goes to hell. Like,
Yeah,
this
the
is
Titan Graveyard.
Insert that here. Yeah, Titan Graveyard. Chapter 10, Part 1. Pretty fucking sci-fi when you first get in there.
Yeah, it felt like Destiny.
It was kind of cool. I will say the design made it very difficult to understand what ledges you could grab. Because when everything is shiny, the shiny ledges that you are looking for are hard to find. But it's pretty fun. You get out, and then you stand at this like crazy entrance to Bone Hell.
Bone hell.
Brunhilde. Bonehilde.
Yeah, you meet these crawling corpses here that will then jump into coffins and become corpse spiders.
Yeah, so it's
Which is-
creeping corpses to creeping coffins. This is my favorite.
The creepy crawlers.
The creeping coffin is fucking rad.
Yeah, I
It's
really
pretty
like
cool.
the creeping coffin.
Yeah, when these corpses go inside of these coffins, the coffins stand up and just sprout like creepy tree legs, and then just fucking crawl at you. It's crazy looking.
Yeah, and they're not like super aggressive, so they're relatively easy to deal with. But they're just like they hit hard, and they're very just cool.
Yeah, I dug it. Yeah, and that's pretty much it with this level. It's just a lot of fighting and finding pieces to kind of move giant dead Titan hands around for you to kind of jump to the next part you got to go to. The thing that I didn't like about it is this level just becomes really oddly open with zero direction. And now that you've got the double jump, they kind of lead you to believe that you can kind of double jump to a lot of the platforms that you can see, but that's not really the case because there were a couple little islands I tried to jump to, and like no matter what I did, I would just die and have to restart from a checkpoint.
Yep.
Did you guys have problems with this? Because I feel like I probably died like 5 or 6 times in this level.
Yeah, most definitely. For me, okay, it's supposedly like poison fog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it tells you
But-
1,000 times when you step in it. It's like
But-
all fucking caps, MLG blown up in your face, like spinning. It's like, get out of the poison fog.
Should that make you go walk like a snail's pace? I don't
No.
know.
Yeah, you can't jump out either. Like I got
Yeah,
the
you
fucking
can't
wings.
jump.
Let me jump out of here.
So like I would do what you said and try to double jump to like an island that I thought I could get to, and land in the middle of this poison fog, and there was no way for me to get out of it. And so, yeah, I would have to. I just restarted at that point. I was like, F that.
It sucks. But it leads to a pretty fun boss fight. So part 2,
yeah.
Fire Pinnacle. Who we fighting here, Sam?
We're fighting Pan.
Yeah, Pan becomes fucking
No way.
Silver Surfer Warrior.
Yeah. Gabe walks up to this. Well, first of all, can we talk about this like metal as fuck skull door that you walk
Yeah,
up
hold
to?
up. This whole level is just metal as fuck. The level,
Yeah.
like everything's made out of skulls and bones, and skulls for the skull throne and blood for the blood gods. Like it's just fucking wiggity wild in here, dude. It's like Lich King vibe to the max.
And the Stone
yeah.
Titans. Don't forget about them.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Oh yeah, can't forget about them. But yeah, so you get to this door, and then Pan shows up, and Pan is just like, one of our paths is going to end here, and Gabe is just like, you suck. Stop talking in riddles. And Pan says that Gabe is shrouded in darkness and he's blind to the truth, and says he will enlighten Gabe. And then he glows blue and transforms into this really badass silver knight and takes away your magic. And then things he says during the fight, like he's testing you, like it's a test. And this battle is actually very cool.
Yeah, this is actually kind of prepping you for the final boss fight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It trains you. So the first leg of the battle, you kind of dodge a lot, get your licks in when you can, much like some of the other battles. But then at a certain point, you get to grapple him, and after you grapple him and do some QTEs, you get your light magic back. But the rub here is that Pan also has light magic, and it works the same way as yours does. So if he hits you, he gains life back while he has life magic on. And the other thing that you realize is that when you both have light magic on, your attacks don't do anything to each other.
Yeah, kind of cancel out.
Yeah, so it's about timing when you use your light magic and get your attacks in versus when you dodge and when you try and avoid his light magic attacks. And so it's very cool for this first section.
Yeah, and then after a certain point, you kind of unlock the ability to use shadow magic, and then that's when he starts to kind of alternate between the two.
Mm-hmm. And then you realize that, okay, I can attack the light magic with shadow magic, and I can attack the shadow magic with light magic, so I have to flip and flop so that we're not negating things.
It becomes very Ikaruga here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like a 1v1 boss fight. It's a lot of fun. A lot of roll dodging, and he says some crazy shit the whole time you're fighting him. He's just like laughing and smacking you around. But then eventually you kill him.
Mm-hmm. Gabe is real upset about this killing Pan. And Pan says sometimes sacrifice is necessary for redemption. And Gabe is just like, I never wanted this. And Pan says that blood is needed to open the way.
Yeah, which, hold on. Can we camp out here for a second? How much blood? Whose blood? Why? Because, like, I would have pricked my fucking finger and opened this door, dog.
Pan's blood and all of it. Specifically.
Yeah, which isn't blood, by the way. It's like this weird silver goop.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Goop.
But one thing that Pan says is, I've accepted my fate. Can you accept yours?
Ooh.
Yeah. Or something like that.
Yikes.
Ooh. Like every bad guy and good guy in the history of anime fighting shows.
Oh, yeah. This next level is pretty easy.
Yeah, the
but
fire
also
cemetery.
But also pretty cool.
Oh, hold on real quick. Can we establish with the death of Pan here? Gabriel, a mortal man, has just killed a god.
Oh, yeah.
What up with that?
Fuck it, you know?
YOLO.
We're not going to talk about that.
Yep. Yeah, and it's weird in this. Hold on, in the loading screen, essentially is like really down with it. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I'm so fucking at this point in the game, I'm very confused about exactly what Zoot Suit's whole deal is. Because, like, on one hand, I was like, and this is how naive I was at this point in the game. At one point, I was like, this dude works for the fucking Necromancer. Wow. And then he was still calling Gabe, like, friend and things like that. So I was like, I don't fucking know what's going on. Mm-hmm. He's just getting more and more fanatic as the game goes on. It's very weird.
For sure. But yeah, so this little fire cemetery, we already kind of talked about it, like, kind of going through this cool stage with a bunch of really cool tower swinging shit, and then you end up in this awful chupacabra situation.
Well, I want to throw this. I want to throw this up here. They introduce the zombie. The enemy type is actually called the zombie, which we need to enshrine in the Trash Mob Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. I fucking loved fighting the zombies because they go down so easy and they throw so many at you. I felt powerful and I loved it. I love the zombies.
Yeah, I agree. They're super cool. They do a good job at using them too, because towards the end of this level, there's just like massive hordes of them that they throw.
Oh yeah.
Really good. But yeah, I mean, this level's not much. It's just like this cool little climbing platforming section that I actually thought felt really good. And then you end up in this huge open area right before this gigantic door. But right as you're about to proceed, this chupacabra comes out of nowhere, laughs his little dumbass laugh and smacks his ass, steals your powers, then goes to hide in a cage, which you open by pointing these lights at through this giant puzzle that involves you moving some towers around and fighting zombies. And then once you get your powers back, like, that's it.
The puzzle itself is not a bad puzzle. I actually liked the puzzle.
Fun. Yeah.
The circumstances surrounding the puzzle are garbage.
Yeah, so you take a crystal, like the titty demon crystal, you put it in different spots to kind of illuminate these towers, and then you kind of ricochet the light from the towers off of each other to break part of the cage. It's pretty cool. And then at the end, don't forget to retrieve the crystal, because then you can use it, which is cool.
Yeah. And then you fight this like huge horde of zombies, and you can technically do this next puzzle, quote puzzle, without killing them all, but it's so much fun to just kill them all. But
I
you
didn't kill all of them, because there's a lot of them. Like
there was a whole fucking lot of them. By the end of the level, it said that I killed 164 zombies.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Sam was working through some shit.
I got real into killing those zombies. I originally was just going to just kill a few of them and then do the thing, but I got so into killing them and then they just stopped coming. I was like, oh, I guess that's it. All right. Yep. But with this puzzle, to open the door, you have to ring this gong and then use your shadow dash to get to the other side before it stops ringing, and then you ring the other gong and you open the door and the level ends.
Yep. It's pretty fun. Minus the pace breaking puzzle in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, it definitely feels like oh shit, we're about to enter this like final area, and then it's like ugh.
Yeah.
But then part 4, crematory oven, we fight Pyramid Head.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pyramid Head.
Pyramid Head with a shovel.
Yeah, well, this is the grave digger, and my favorite thing about this is that South Central LA is like, who's more terrible, our hero or the demon?
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z gets real weird around here.
But yeah, meet the grave digger.
Yeah, he's kind of fun. Sam, how long did it take you guys to realize the fucking door thing?
Twice.
I felt like a real dum-dum. I feel like it took me quite a minute.
Well, so I realized that there was also something that was glowing in the arena aside from him, and I also noticed the second time that his animation indicated to me that he should have fallen somewhere after the end of the animation. So I was like, oh, I should probably do that, and of course the opening the gate opened the thing, and I was like, ah, cool. And then thankfully I had enough time to grapple him into it. But
nice.
Yeah. It took me like 3 times, I think, because usually those wheels take a long time. So at first I tried opening it when he was just over in the corner, and obviously he came over and bashed me upside the head.
Yeah, you have to like down him first.
As he does.
His what do you call it? Dazed animation lasts quite a long time, so that's when you can go in and do the deed.
Nice. Yeah, but it's fun. Once you kind of leverage this thing open, you can kind of re-engage in the QTE with Shovel Man, Gravedigger, Pyramid Boy. And at the end of it, instead of him kind of knocking you back, he falls down this huge pit. One of the things that we didn't talk about is that he will occasionally open up his helmet to spit out these like Cthulhu tentacles out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Once he falls down this tunnel, he will, as Gabe's like, oh, everything's good, these tentacle tongue things clearly are long as fuck because they shoot all the way back up.
Which let me insert here. Gabe is looking, saying, oh, this is fine, as he's holding the shovel that he used, the gravedigger's shovel that he used to like get him down into the Mordor pit, that he plants in the ground next to him before he gets grabbed, and also has another opportunity to not use this very cool weapon in the game.
Correct.
But yeah, so
per
this like
per his established MO.
Yeah. So continue about his weird long tentacle thing.
Yeah, so he launches his creepy long tentacle tongues, like I think there's 3 or 4 of them, and then starts to pull Gabe down into this like fire shaft to hell. And then Gabe kind of manages to like knock all the tongues off using some QTEs and stuff, and then we kind of have to like platform crawl our way back up to the top of the tower as the lava is rising. After that, I mean, it pretty much ends, right? Like another door opens and we're out.
Yeah, I went the wrong way. It's if you just go straight, if you go straight up, it's not a huge deal to make it to the top in plenty of time. I went the wrong way and I accidentally found a shadow gem.
Nice.
But you can still make it to the top in time. It's just a little bit closer.
Yeah, so we are in chapter 11. This is part 1, the Necromancer's Abyss. Again, they kind of kill the pace really hard with a puzzle here, followed by another.
Yeah,
And
Zoop is
then
calling him the Prince
another.
of Darkness now. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems kind of weird. I don't know, man. This level, my note here is when I think Castlevania, I definitely think combo pack, double jewel disc, Walmart puzzle packs for old women. Because that's what this level feels like.
It is very strange.
It's like oops, all Aztec puzzle, like Infinity Runner map.
Here's the problem that I had with this first puzzle is that I don't know how I was supposed to solve it. Like maybe I'm
What
dumb.
happened? Did you not figure it out?
Well, no, I bought the puzzle. Like maybe I'm dumb. Well, so first of all, I don't know the zodiac symbols, so I knew it was Virgo, and I knew that it had to be at the eclipse, but like I couldn't figure out what day it should have been.
Oh, I didn't do any of that. I just literally looked at it and was like, oh, I got to put the moon behind the sun and in the middle of the tower hole. So I'm just going to scroll through until that happens.
Oh, that's
literally all I did.
Okay, I guess that's what they wanted you to do because like I couldn't. I had to like miss out on the XP, and even the clue doesn't like explain it. And I just like, oh, they drew it out here. Here it is. Okay, done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do, Isaac?
I think the big thing was like you were right, the Virgo sign or whatever. But then it said something about on the last week of the month.
Yeah, it said the 4th week.
Fourth
Where'd
week
you guys
of the
read
month.
this at? Was it on the scroll?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I 100% didn't read that shit at all and was just like, I'm going to turn things.
So the middle scroll was the day, so I just kind of scrolled from, the last 7 days or so. And then the moon, I guess I've just picked the eclipse one and it worked. But yeah, I mean, it's not very intuitive. I will give you that. It's just kind of
Okay, I'm just making sure. Like, I didn't know if it was because I was dumb or because this is a bad puzzle. I wasn't sure.
No. It was not intuitive at all. I don't think.
Okay.
And if you don't know the zodiac signs, then good luck.
Yeah.
'Cause they
Once you solve this puzzle, though, you force a solar eclipse to happen, and then I laughed at this. A little piece of a platform appears, and I laughed because it's like that seems like a small prize for forcing a solar eclipse, but okay.
Yeah.
But if you walk up to it, the platform builds out in front of you as you go.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. It's like the whole Kojima coming out to introduce Death Stranding stairs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. As soon as you get through this, though, there's this like super weird puzzle that involves you trial and error jump punching tiles on the ground to draw out the patterns in which to trace this symbol on the door.
This is where I figured out the technique for jump punching. With I guess now that I know you can fucking punch straight down, this is where I developed the technique for like doing the diagonal punch in the first try every time. What you learn while doing this puzzle is that each row, it doesn't matter which one you punch within the row. Everything in the identical rows do the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to the top row is up, the middle, like the two middle rows are left and right, the bottom row is down, and then the dot in the center is to start the laser.
To begin the laser.
Begin laser. Oh, my head is bleeding.
Oh, are you okay?
That's not. Yeah, I just like went and wiped my head and now there's blood there. That's weird.
Whoa. Sam.
Very, very not nice. What do you need to take a look?
No, it's fine. I'm good. It's just a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
On that note,
Moving on.
Sorry. Hi, podcast.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and then we just get a bunch of double jump puzzles. There are these Reaper enemies that kind of join the mix. That are these kind of ghost Reaper boys. And then eventually we get to some necromancers that are actually pretty sick fights. These things look very like Warhammer 40K. I don't know how else to describe them. They're just like these floating bishops that like summon zombies, and they're a lot of fun. There's not really a lot to them. You just want to get their health down and then grapple them and break their staff into their face.
They'll summon zombies, and then I think a couple of the later ones will summon Reapers as well. And the Reapers have a little bit more agency than the zombies, but they're about as weak as the zombies as far as life goes.
Yeah, I think there are a couple fun fights here and there, and I think the environment itself looks pretty neat, but like this might be the most video game level in this game. And I felt like everything took twice as long as it should have. Like, you kind of do all these like jumping into portals and stepping out of mirrors and stuff like that, but it sort of felt like all of the animations for the teleporting took twice as long as they should have. And like all of the length in this level could have been cut in half and been it could have been more fun, I think. Because a lot of it just starts to repeat after a certain point. Granted,
I think
the jump puzzles kind of escalate as far as trickiness, and that's pretty fun, but that's about it.
I think that it's like you said, I think that you could change literally nothing about this level aside from all of the waiting for you to teleport places, and I think it would have been even better. Because I liked the jumping puzzles in this part. I thought it was a pretty cool level. I just hated waiting every fucking time you had to teleport.
For sure. Yeah. And the teleport animation was pretty neat the first time, but like we really didn't have to see it that many times. So I don't know.
It's the same thing with the music box level.
Yeah, 100%. So, but yeah, we just kind of keep fighting necromancers until we eventually get access to the portal that takes us to the Draco Lich, level 2.
Okay, I fucking love this. Can I say?
Oh, interesting. I thought this was one of the most frustrating boss fights in the game.
Really?
Yeah, it's the mechanic of having to hold on, frequently interrupting, tricky jumping on platforms that are not clearly marked. Like, I don't know. I just I fell a bunch and didn't really feel like it was the juice was worth the squeeze. You know what I mean?
I thought that so this is the Draco Lich. Okay, so let's reel it back. At the beginning of this level, you are met by something that looks very similar to the necromancers that you fought in the last level, and we are to assume that this is the Lord of the Necromancers, which I did not buy.
Oh, yeah.
He looks very generic and very generic enemy.
It was a pretty interesting little dialogue, though.
Yeah, he goes, "By whose authority do you get to kill me?" And then calls Gabe a monster and says that he revels in death and that they are one and the same. Then Gabe is like, "You will not stop me." And the necromancer laughs and then glows a bunch and then merges with the tower that they're on, which, surprise, he turns into a giant dragon that is essentially a giant necromancer created titan. And I thought it was very cool.
Yeah. No, I think the set dressing is neat, and it being sort of the final titan, final exam, I thought was pretty neat. I just think that the way that the boss fight is structured feels very like, look how cool this big fucking thing is. Also, we really wanted to rip off the flying Shadow of the Colossus boss.
Yeah.
Now here's what I will say about it. It's not perfect. It's definitely the best of the 3 Titan fights.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think that what I will say about it is that I think it is more fun and interesting than the other 2, and I think it does a better job of capturing what they were trying to do with the first 2 by like aping Shadow of the Colossus. It doesn't. I guess they could have marked the paths a little bit better, but it doesn't like baby you, and it lets you figure it out, and I appreciated that, and I thought that the battle was better for it.
Mm-hmm. I can see it.
What do you think, Isaac? I need to.
I'm gonna reel it in
hear from
for you.
my Ueda boy.
I'm gonna reel it in for you, Sam. I did not like this either.
Okay.
Okay, I liked it. I liked it, like you said, better than the other Titans. And
There's a little bit more going on. The other Titans were very like rinse repeat.
Yeah. Well, this
time.
one was
Very static.
to me was very rinse and repeat as well.
That's true. They all are.
To the point where I was like, wait, am I going the right way? Because didn't I do this like 3 times already? Like jumping across the bone spine thing, and then running across the ledge, and then jumping across, and then slingshotting down into his little what do you call those little nub things? Nubules.
Rib cage.
I felt like I did that like 3 or 4 times before getting to his head. So, although the destroying him in the mouth was pretty insane.
Yeah,
I liked that a lot.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, when you break all of his runes, he crashes to the ground, and then he kind of falls off to the platform while Gabe is standing on it, and then he just comes barreling up and is just towering over you. And it's relatively easy, but it's really cool. You grapple onto his jaw, and then you jump into his mouth, and you have to punch the rune in his mouth before he essentially breathes fire and fires you out of his mouth. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I found that that's what he had to do the hard way. So.
Yeah, the visual spectacle is pretty neat. At first, I was like, "Is this right? I hope I don't. Should I be doing this?" And then it was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Yeah, right. Yeah. Should I be climbing into this guy's mouth?
Yeah.
Okay, thinking about it, I kind of like this guy a lot now. Maybe not like the gripping, constant gripping, like Alessia said, but
yeah. So
cool.
here's how I think you make this and really the rest of the Titans in this game better is that you space out the amount of times that you have to grip.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate not having a grip meter, but the way that they reconcile that is by making you have to hold R2 every 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's bananas.
Almost literally every 5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, you can time it out. Like, as I was climbing and jumping, I literally almost like a musical beat was like, and let me go ahead and hit R2 or right trigger. And then it was like, okay, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Let me go ahead and hit right trigger. And it's like, I don't know. It just got so repetitive feeling. But yeah, fuck it. Let's talk about the reveals here. And I think we can use this as a good segue to directly go into kind of the final fight. So,
yeah,
let's
so
do it.
Zooby-Doo in the pre-narration is like, I want to be with my friend in his moment of victory, and I'm just like, fuck off, dude, you've been gone for a while. And then Gabe does a real sick superhero landing at the top of the tower, and he gets the last piece of the God mask. And having completed the mask, Zooples Pooples shows up.
Zooples Pupils.
And Dr. Seuss.
And he's holding that weird metal mask that Gabe was wearing in the dream where he stabbed Marie.
That we probably forgot about 100 years ago because this game is way too fucking long.
But I actually didn't forget about it. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Is that the mask?
Oh, I know. I noticed it whenever it popped back up, but it's like fucking 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
Like,
full day later. And this motherfucker puts on the mask. And it turns out that he's the Lord of the Necromancers.
Yep.
I actually was not expecting that.
Really?
Yep, I knew something was up, but
I knew that
didn't know
I knew that he was probably evil. I did not expect him to be
The guy.
I thought he was going to be
guy,
like
yeah.
corrupted, is what I thought.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
But
I didn't
yeah.
expect him to be the necromancer lord.
Yeah, essentially what he says, which is weird that Pan was like going along with it,
Yeah.
considering that Pan gave up his life, I guess. It's weird because essentially Zoldan, Zazu, was like, I fucking lied this whole time, and I wanted you to assemble the God Mask so that I could have the power for myself and then destroy you. Thanks for killing everybody else, dumbass.
Yeah, including his wife, which we straight up hinted at earlier, spoiled earlier.
I don't know if I hinted at it as much as I decapitated it.
Yeah, you just kind of you decapitated it like Gabe decapitated Marie.
Yeah, essentially he's like, oh, you're so easily gullible, you dumbass. While you were sleeping, I put this mask on you and got you to kill everybody, including Laura and, excuse me, not Laura, what's her name?
Marie.
Claudia. Marie. And
Everybody.
And when I need to pause here for a second because this is important. After Zekromancer, which is what I have called him for the rest of for the rest of my notes, is Zekromancer. Tells Gabe that he was the one who killed Marie. This scene becomes straight up a legitimate ripoff of The Empire Strikes Back. I don't know if you guys realize that or not. Because Gabe he gets told this crazy thing, and then he goes, no. He like says no, and then Zekromancer says, search your soul, Gabriel, you know it to be true.
Oh, no.
The line in Star Wars Empire Strikes Back is after he says, Luke, no, I am your father. Vader says, search your feelings, you know it to be true.
Oh, no.
So they ripped this whole shit straight out of Empire Strikes Back, and I thought it was the funniest fucking thing in the world.
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
rough. Well, and he says it with Sir Patrick Stewart voice. He also says charade. I hated every second of that. I was like, are you kidding me?
It's time to end this charade.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart says some fucking bizarre shit. Like, I'd look up this cutscene online. He says some wild stuff. And, like, we don't even really get to fight him because...
No, we don't. Well, that's the thing. We don't fight him at all.
Which is funny to me.
He essentially kills Gabe. And then you hear this voice that says, all hail mighty Zop Zop, or whatever the fuck he says. All hail mighty Zobek, he says. And Zobek demands to know who's there. And then this disembodied voice says that he met Zekromancer in the void and gave him the idea for his plan in the first place to serve a higher purpose, and I sure do love an even bigger bad trope. I really do.
Oh no, that's like my least favorite trope.
Yeah, and that was sarcasm.
Okay, good, very good. I was like, no, Sam, Sam, when you heard me calling out from the void to tell you that you should love the bigger bad trope, it was me all along.
Yeah, that was straight up sarcasm. I will say, comparatively, like they do hint at it briefly when Baba mentions her master, the King of the Angels.
Oh, yeah.
So you know something
more like
is up.
The Prince of the Fallen Angels.
Yeah.
Cue Glenn Danzig. Looking Satan, because that is what this dude looks like.
For sure. But yeah, the dude says you've served your purpose and essentially lights Zekromancer on fire. And then this long-haired person shrouded in smoke picks up the mask and then screams to the heavens.
He looked like a raven-haired Adam from Nier Automata.
Yes, he does. Absolutely. But he screams to the heavens at his father that he's coming for him.
Why have you forsaken me?
In your eyes forsaken me. But yeah, this is Satan.
Yeah,
like
also,
I thought.
Also, precedent for this in Castlevania, you can fight Satan in some of the other Castlevania games.
Yeah, so this is not like a where the fuck did Satan come from? This is something that they have done in the series before, so it's not straight out of left field. But you're just fighting straight up Satan.
It was for me.
Well, I guess being your first. Can you walk me through your feelings? Through, I need Isaac. I need you to walk me through. your feelings from when Zobek revealed he was the Necromancer Lord to realizing that you were about to fight Satan.
Oh, the
when
zoot suit.
Zillow backed out.
Zillow.
So
Are you sponsored by Zillow? Apartment hunting. Maybe.
at your fingertips. Isn't that their slogan?
I think probably. I don't know. Apartments at your fingertips. Well, Jeff Goldblum is apartments.
Oh, that's
so
right.
I prefer
Apartments at your fingertips until Satan comes back.
No, I thought
And then we're all doomed.
this twist of a twist was quite comical, actually. I actually
I
kind of
love that.
chuckled at it when it happened because I was
So
like,
how did-
"Oh, that's
so-
kind of
so
cool."
what did you-
That
what did
Yes,
you-
Isaac, look into yourself. You know it to be true.
That was the thing. I was so into the first twist.
the first one, yeah.
And then he says that shit, and I was just like, oh no.
Well, so I knew about the twist, which is coming later. I was really
Yes.
upset at that there was no fucking build up to that twist.
Right?
Yeah.
Instead, it's just like twist 1, twist 2. By the way, super fucking crazy out of nowhere twist 3.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, you guys. Anyway, sorry, we'll keep it. We'll keep it
have
to
a-
twist 2 for now.
I have a way to explain twist 3.
Yeah, I'm looking forward
But-
to it.
We'll get to it.
Yep.
But for you guys that are confused listening, we are at twist number 2 of many to come.
Turn to twist 2 in your workbook.
There's two more twists, and the final two twists occur within the same cutscene.
Oh,
great.
that's right. I forgot there was 2 twists at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right, so we're in twist 2. Fighting Nude Boy. Nude Satan.
Well,
Isaac, what was
essentially-
so comical for you, though?
Yeah.
Was it the nudity? Was it the long hair? Was it Glenn Danzig? Was it the glowing yellow eyes? Was
No,
it
it
the
was-
goofy dialogue that nobody should have written?
I think it was everything. His whole introduction, where like he came in and Zorb kind of was like, "Hey, I'm this powerful guy," and, all
And then
of a
he's
sudden-
like, nah, me bigger.
"Yeah, this guy's nah. Really, I'm the one. I'm the powerful guy."
Dude, this whole thing, especially Gabriel's boss fight with Satan, literally felt like some like imaginary friend action figures getting mashed together. Grade school bullshit that I thought up when I was like having a fever dream
Yeah.
at like 7 years old.
Yeah, essentially, like the spirits and Marie bring Gabe back to life to fight Satan, and then Gabe fights Satan, and the whole
Well,
conceit
Gabe
of this
wrestles
battle.
a nude Satan.
Yes, he
is
wrestles.
a
a nude.
DBZ
The whole conceit
battle.
of this battle is that Satan can use shadow and light magic like Pan could earlier. So the game was teaching you about this battle earlier in the game. But you have unlimited magic, which is pretty cool. And then attacking light magic Satan with your shadow magic also heals you. So you're basically also, you have unlimited health.
Maybe build the mechanics of your game around you not having to have unlimited in order to finish the game.
That's what I was. It was a little cheap that they.
Well,
said-
and even in general, the way that the system is built in the first place is like maybe make it to where you can replenish the magic doing something other than having a long combo that goes unbroken. Mm-hmm. Because like the game just kind of changes the rules whenever the fuck it wants to because it's not confident in its systems. Because I would argue that like even Metal Gear Solid 3 is like fuck it, super intense boss fight. However, it's a final exam for everything you've learned playing the game. Mm-hmm. This feels kind of like fuck it, cheese it. Here you go, buddy. Unlimited
You
ammo.
earned it. Sorry, we gave you this very bad video game. Now you earned
now you can just.
all. Yeah,
Now you can DBZ fight Satan at the top of a mountain. GG.
that's kind of what it felt like a little bit. He actually. So
Oh, dude, they trade punches and like put craters in
air.
the ground and like,
oh yeah, like he
float shit.
like they fly around and Gabe like bitch slaps Satan into a hole in the ground, and then Satan like comically climbs out of the hole in the
yeah,
ground.
and then he even like and
Yeah,
like, the
yeah.
stones start to float around him, and it's like, are you what the fuck?
Well, that's one thing that I don't think we've brought up at all is that when you replenish your magic on the fountains, it sounds like you're straight up like charging your power level in Dragon
Oh,
Ball.
I didn't think about that. It's very like Super Saiyan. Yeah. Yup. Mm-hmm. This boss
Yeah,
fight's
tell me-
pretty fun. It's like a 1v1 little standard fight, like Sam explained, except for the little QTE parts. Not fun. So the first one I had a really hard time with, and the second one made me want to fucking smash things in my apartment, in my house.
How did you have trouble with the first one? The first one was so easy. Like, it was just literally just color-coded oppositely.
So check it. I couldn't figure out the timing of when to make the change happen.
Like, at what point?
Yeah, so what would happen was, like, I'd run through the little rings, and, like, I would hit it, I guess, either too soon or too late every time. So I just kept bouncing off the fucking force field. Yeah. So for those of you not playing at home, whenever Satan gets down for the first time, I think it's about when he's at 70% health, he'll take a knee during the national anthem, which is great. He'll take
and then
a
get
knee.
Sponsored by Nike.
Yeah, because he's a good American man. He'll take a knee, and these runes will appear on the ground, but they are color coordinated to your magic. So what'll happen is you kind of have to run through these checkpoints, but change your magic as you hit them, so as not to block yourself from getting to him. And I don't know what it was.
They're pretty close together.
Yeah, they're very close together. And eventually, what I ended up doing was just sort of like fucking just like tap 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 tap, like trying to like time it and just being like, fuck it, I can't figure out the pacing, so let's just figure it out. So I just kind of brute forced my way through, and it's just very, I don't know what it is. The timing is very frustrating.
That's interesting. I had I had no trouble with the first one, and
when did the changeover happen? Do you change it because you can't change your color while you're in the circle?
No,
because
you have to change it in the
out.
little section in between them, and you have to match the magic. And the key is to take your time.
Oh, wait, hold on. So there's the rune circle, and then there's just the solid color between the runes.
Yes.
If I'm standing in the red solid color, can I change it to blue before I hit the runes?
No, because because the runes don't like. There's space in it. So in the first one, it's just like the colored rings around him. They don't move.
No, for sure. But I'm saying like there's a rune edge to the ring, and then there's a solid color within the ring.
Oh, as long as you're outside the solid color, you're fine.
This is like Isaac's like, oh no, dummy, it's L2 and triangle. This is like...
I like that we both had one of those moments for you. I appreciate that.
Anyway, yeah, I got through it. I just, when they start moving, I lucked out where I did. Because when they start moving, the good thing about it is you don't really have to worry about this mechanic of alternating at a good rate. Yeah, because when you get to the second chunk, you can actually luck out and get like 3 of the same color to move next to each other, and then just fucking beeline it. Which is what I did.
I actually applauded that, like the easy one, for teaching you what you were supposed to do for the more complicated one.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Like that we going back to that whole like Ego Raptor sequelitis Mega Man X thing, like the game teaching you how to do something and then doing the thing.
It's too bad that it's literally at the end of the game.
The final boss battle, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, case in point, I mean, I don't know how much there really is to say about this. You kind of like break Batman's back, so to speak, with Satan. You just kind of put him in a bear hug and just kind of squeeze him until he dies.
You
breathe on each other's necks and whisper sweet nothings to yourselves until God.
Well, the first thing he does is he
him.
grabs Satan's like fork, stabs him in the stomach, and then uses this thing as leverage to body slam Satan.
Yeah, and then snaps the thing in half and breaks it off inside of him because he loves doing that to people.
And then punches the fuck out of Satan for a while. Puts him in a chokehold.
Suplexes him.
And then they talk about God for a while, and Gabe essentially prays for forgiveness.
Christian God, by the way. So we're wrestling Satan, and then Christian God is
capital G God.
Yep.
He says he's going to essentially Satan taunts Gabe and says he's pretty much going to fuck Marie in hell.
Yep. He's like, I'm show her pleasures she's never seen before, and Gabe's like, she wouldn't do that. She's a good girl, and then God's like, you done, son.
And then she goes to heaven.
Yeah. So we discovered that the God mask is just like a goofy mask to put on to see ghosts as real people. I guess. Wasn't sure what was up with that. Yeah, Gabe puts on the mask, and then his wife kisses his mask and not him at all. And then she leaves.
Yeah.
And says that she forgives
this bear hug. After Gabe prays for forgiveness, he like this big old beam of light erupts from his mouth, and then
he charges his laser, and then he fucking shoots the loop.
Dr. Argonopus, then the God mask falls off Satan. Satan evaporates, and then Marie tells Gabe that tells Gabe after he's real sad that he's still alive that he's alive to repent for his sins when his life was wrongly taken from him, and that he freed all of them, and that the God Mask can't bring people back to life. And she essentially, Gabe gets all emo about not deserving her love, and then she essentially forgives him. And then he puts the mask on, sees her, and then she kisses him with the mask on. And then she grabs the mask and they all float away into heaven. And then Claudia shows up, says nothing, of course, and then also floats away.
Oh, Claudia shows up and then shoots him a fucking stink eye.
Yeah.
Like, she just gives him this real dirty look, and then she's like, I'm going to heaven, bye, bitch.
Yeah. And then the camera pans to Zekromancer's mask lying on the ground. Which
roll
is
credits.
And roll credits.
And then there's a button prompt to skip, which I promptly did.
Yes.
And then we get to the twist number 3. This crazy fucking cutscene that I have seen years and years and years ago. Because people were like, holy fuck, this is insane. And I watched it and was like, holy fuck, this is insane. Kind of thought that the game led into this a little bit better. It doesn't. The game kind of ends and then you get shown this crazy cutscene out of nowhere.
Yeah. Here's okay, so let's talk about the
Let's talk about the cutscene first. Yeah.
I'll explain my theory. Now, here's I think my theory makes sense.
Okay.
But
you said you're going to explain after we cover the scene?
After the cutscene. I think my
cool.
theory makes sense, but it doesn't change the fact that they need to do a better job leading.
Yeah, it would have been, I don't know. Here's the deal. Let's talk about the scene. Let's talk about the scene. We'll talk about your theory, and then I'll say my quick thoughts on what I thought would have been a cooler build-up.
Okay.
So in this scene, essentially we see this like old decrepit church. It's very similar to the skit that we did for this. So we see this old decrepit church.
The skit's identical to the scene. It's fine.
Yeah. We see this cool decrepit church building foyer area. This man in a business suit walks in. Except I think he's in a cloak. Never mind. So
no, you don't know he's in a business suit.
Apologies.
That's twist number 4.
Yeah, sorry. So this man walks in a cloak, and then he breaks through a wall in the back of the church, discovers the secret tower area, kind of tunnel, hollowed out tower, looks up, sees this crazy creepy door, then magically levitates to the top, walks through said door. It's very dark. We see like a stained glass window, very moody, and then we hear him say, "Hello, old friend," in a voice that sounds very much so like Patrick Stewart. And then we see this ghastly figure shrouded in darkness, and he says, "Oh, how did you find me? You're still alive, blah, blah, blah." They have a conversation. The cloaked man calls him Gabriel. The ghoulish man says, "No, my name is Dracul."
Yeah, he says he gets real mad, leans into the light. He looks real gray and evil. He goes, "Don't you dare call me that. Il sunt Dracul," which is Romanian for "I am Dracula."
Yeah, and he's very clearly Gabriel. Just have become Dracula.
Yeah.
And then the man reveals
death,
himself to be Zolbeck in a business suit.
They do a little bit more talking, and they taunt each other about.
They talk in mysterious Kingdom Hearts teaser phrases.
When Gabe disappears, he's Zubla calls him shadow of his former self. Gabe disappears, asks what he wants. Then they're just like, "Hey, bro, Satan's coming back. We should team up." And
then Gabe comes in for the backwards hug.
But then Z disappears, leaves his cloak behind, and then you see, he's wearing a business suit.
Oh yeah.
And
he's looking like fly as fuck with some like goat eyes.
And then Z blasts him through the stained glass window, and surprise, twist number 4, you're in the future.
Yep, you're in modern day times. 2014.
So here's the thing. I thought, like, what city could this be? Maybe it's New York or something like that. No, it's not New York.
Well, it's the city. It's the original. It's the vampire castle from earlier.
Yeah.
There's a city that's built up around this castle now.
Yeah. So but the city, shit, from the second game is called Castlevania City.
Classic.
So I want you to soak in that for a second.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I want to give a quick background on this before we dive into your theory, Sam. So the developers stated that they didn't think they'd be given a chance to make another game. Rightfully so. I don't know what the fuck critics were thinking when this game came out. But this is going to be really fucked up to anybody who's listening. This game, the original Castlevania Lords of Shadow, is still to this day the top-selling Castlevania game.
Whoa.
Which is fucking crazy. And
even above Symphony.
Correct.
Whoa.
And so Symphony actually was critically well received but did not commercially do well, which is why they did not do more 2D Castlevanias for consoles that weren't handhelds.
Well, so that's the thing that that's the thing though, is like much like a lot of like games like that, once they become like it's not like Firefly, where like people realized it was actually a good show after the fact, but like it's too late now. This is a game like the numbers still count, right? Like,
oh, for sure.
I would think once it became a cult classic, like it would start selling like gangbusters.
Yeah, but that being said, this game, Castlevania Lords of Shadow, still has more sales, and I think it's because of the name recognition mixed with the like more accessible gameplay, especially when they released it, where it's like, LOL, it's like God of War, check it out.
Yeah.
But it's wild. So anyway, this game got greenlit for a sequel, but the developers didn't think it would. So they included this scene, which was supposed to happen over the course of 3 games. And they tacked on this scene that was supposed to be like a tease for like the end of the story, kind of like where it was all going.
Well, technically it was 3 games because Mirror of Fate ties.
No, for sure. But the thing is like this was supposed to come at the end of towards the end of the 3rd game. So they were originally going to showcase like the full lead up to this scene.
the full descent.
Yeah. But what ended up happening was they tacked it on just to be like, hey, check out this cool shit, and maybe if people get to the end, they'll want to see more. And that's what happened. And then they were sort of like, fuck, we are out of ideas now. I guess we got to figure something out. So that's why the other 2 games are received way worse than this first game. Like they're actually like considered pretty not great games.
Yeah, I think Mirror of Fate essentially becomes the origins of Alucard.
Yeah, in this universe, not like the Alucard.
Yeah, in this universe, and then Lords of Shadow 2 is basically takes place after this cutscene where they essentially kill Satan again, and Alucard and Dracula team up. Yes.
But yeah, so unfortunately what happened after this came out was people wanted answers and Konami wanted to capitalize off of it, so some DLCs were kind of built to answer what the fuck happened here. I really would have liked it if in the primary game we would have gotten to a point about midway through where Gabriel would have been transformed into a vampire. We could have gotten some new skills and abilities, and the game could have taken on a considerable darker tone, which is look how much this man has sacrificed to bring his love back. Maybe have him bring his love back, but she's mortal and he's not. And then he has to deal with watching her die slowly over time. And maybe he's just trapped as a vampire. Like, give me that sooner. Like, it would have been cooler, I think, to have had almost like the, oh, fuck, we're watching a zombie movie and the protagonist just got bit kind of feeling, like 3/4 of the way through this game. And then suddenly have me play through his, like, desperate fight to bring back his wife before he succumbs to the vampire shit. I think that would have been cool. And then have, like, a post-credit scene where maybe he, like, transforms or something.
Now, here's what I'll say. I don't necessarily disagree that is better, because it is. So I guess I'll explain my theory now. And it's real simple, but I think it works with everything that we know about this game world at this point, like this universe they've crafted with this video game. I think they could have explained it more if this isn't in fact. Well, here's the thing. It's not what it is because they, quote, explain it in one of the DLCs, but they could have explained it better. But so when Gabe has Satan in his little bear hug, and he charges his laser and fires it, I think that was like the ritual that the founders of the order did to ascend. And so his soul, his like nice soul, is in heaven now. but his dark soul is his dark soul. His evil soul is still on Earth, and that's why he becomes Dracula.
His nobody.
He becomes the nobody of Gabriel, and he becomes a Dark Lord.
Why did they not do that?
I don't know. It makes sense, right? It's a good theory, right?
Why the fuck did they not do that? That would have been a million times better.
It makes sense. And
do you think they were going for that?
I think probably. I would hope so. But because literally it makes sense, and it's
no need for
ties
DLCs.
into it. It's what?
No need for DLCs.
No need for DLCs, and it ties into literally the rest of the game. They've been telling you this entire game, we did this and became this. Mm-hmm. That he literally prays to God, and then a blue light comes out of his mouth, goes into heaven, kills Satan, and then he's still trapped on Earth after he was dead.
What would have been cool would have been if his light soul or good energy or whatever would have gotten to live on with his wife.
Yeah.
And then his like shit body demon fiend version is like lamenting that he didn't get to see the wife. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like he becomes broody emo boy, where he's like, well,
and that would make
Gabe
a lot more
gets
sense.
to hang out with my wife. Now I'm mad.
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense. But I think just by realizing that, that's probably what this was, makes it way better.
Yeah,
and way easier
They should have explicitly stated, like...
Yeah, way easier to stomach. But instead, they do the DLC where Gabe drinks all of Laura's blood and becomes a vampire.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, check it out. So Gabe's like, I can't go into this castle. There's a lock. And Laura's like, I'm a vampire. I can help you in, but you got to drink all my blood.
I don't want to live anymore. Drink all my blood.
And it just doesn't make any sense because he's like, I'm going to forego all this shit just to get in this door.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anyway. And that's the extent to which we're going to talk about the DLCs. The big boss is the Forgotten One. He's also in whatever, Lament of Innocence or whatever the second PS2 game was. Yeah, there's that. That's a Castlevania game. Yeah, guys, so let's talk about the wrap-up thoughts on, I almost said Soul Calibur, on Castlevania, Lords of Shadow. We've also been talking about fighting games on Patreon Club. Support us at $2 plus, get that. Yeah. So,
nice plug.
Thank you. Very quick. Very seamless.
Until I said that.
Yeah, now we're bringing it up, so that's cool. So wrap-up thoughts before we like completely proceed. I did notice while playing this back half of the game, I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention to it in the first half because I was so angry, but did Gabriel develop like a really shitty Scottish accent at one point?
Yeah.
No, he's had it the whole time.
Has he had it the whole time? Because I noticed like in chapter 8, I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Maybe it's because he didn't talk as much in the first half of the game.
Well, you know the fucked up part is I'm pretty sure the actor just is Scottish.
Oh,
well, he sounds like a shitty Scottish person. He's not good at his own accent.
I think he's trying to disguise it because he's like,
oh, that
yes,
makes more sense.
Like, it's like, oh, what are you doing? Yes, it's not great.
I think you should just lean into it more. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Scottish accent is one of the sexiest fucking accents ever. And I don't know why.
Dude, I'll take it. I'm privy to Australian and French accents myself. But yeah.
I like those European ones. I like
those
Euros.
Yeah. Anyway, before this takes a turn, what did you...
Who do you want to fuck internationally?
That's the next topic, Alessio.
If you had to fucking fuck, marry, kill Castlevania characters from Lords of Shadow, what would that look like?
I would fuck Satan.
Whoa.
I would I would fuck Satan. I would marry Gabriel because he would do anything for me.
Aw.
And I would, including chop my head off.
Which
if I
sometimes
needed
you
him
need.
to. Yeah. And I would kill Zoot Suit.
Nice. Isaac?
All right, let's see.
Let's look at it from a scientific perspective.
Which one would be
Objectively.
better? All right, so obviously you got to marry Mary or Marie.
Maria?
Maria.
No, it's Marie.
Marie.
Yeah, you're right.
Mariah. Who knows?
Excuse me?
Carrie.
So I'm going to marry her. I'm going to kill Gabriel
Whoa.
because
He
we've
a
all
bad
had
man.
enough. And then
He's done questionable things, you know.
Dude, we've done a bunch of games of men doing questionable things with dead wives lately.
Huh? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I will. Let's see. Who? I'm gonna.
You want to fuck Zobek, don't you?
Zabuma Zobek?
Yeah.
I mean, he does have that gray fox look to him.
Gray Fox.
Frank?
Silver fox.
Like
look,
Frank
I should
Jaeger?
say.
He's got that Frank Yeager look to him.
Now let's go with that. The crazy. The
Baba?
dragon lady.
Whoa.
Baba
Isaac,
Yaga?
that's a slur.
What
Dragon Lady?
Yeah, Dragon Lady. Have you guys not seen Gran Torino?
Oh, what?
How Clint Eastwood calls this
Well, I've
Asian
seen
woman
it, but I
Dragon
didn't-
Lady.
Oh.
Oh,
Weird.
Anyway, it's all good.
Are you talking
What
about you want to
Dragon
fuck the Dragon Titan or you want to fuck Baba Yaga?
Lady? Or the demon?
the one that
Or-
you unleash.
Oh, Titty Demon.
Yeah. We'll go with that one.
Gotcha. Okay. That
All right.
makes sense.
Here's my lineup. I would marry Marie.
Of course,
I would fuck Marie. And then I would kill
course.
Marie in that
of
order.
course.
Wow.
Just like Gabriel.
Yeah.
Lol, 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 lol. Which, spoilers
Yeah.
for the Mirrors of Fate game on the 3DS, apparently Marie did have a kid with Gabriel and hid the kid from Gabriel because for some reason she knew he was going to become evil. Not really sure how that works out.
Cool. And that kid becomes Alucard. Because
Yeah.
fuck it. Why not?
Why not? Anyway, yeah, that's a good way to recap how we felt about the game, I guess. That Fuck, Marry, Kill game. That was good. Just like this game, we're talking about it in weird puzzle form.
I gave it my solid grade. And yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a game. And I'm never going to play it again.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I honestly, if I wasn't playing it for the show, I probably would have quit midway through.
Yo, for sure. I
And I'm not the
would've
kind of
quit a
person who quits
long
playing
time ago.
games that I start, so that's actually kind of saying a lot.
Oh yeah, I would have quit probably in chapter 2, honestly.
And I think
If
I
I
did. Like
wasn't
the first
playing
time I
for the
played
show.
it, I quit this game in chapter 3, I think. And I put in probably about 4 or 5 hours up until chapter 3, chapter 4, and then just dropped it and was like, nah, I'm good.
Oh, and you want to know some other shit that happened in this game that we called and we hoped would happen that did happen?
Uh-huh.
The eagle never came back.
Oh, yeah. What the
you're
fuck?
They never explained the fucking eagle. I think the eagle might have been Pan. I thought it might have been Pan, but then he was really rude for no reason for it to be Pan.
It sounds like
So
pain.
like this big ass eagle just shows up and then they just never bring it back.
Yeah,
or
is the
explain it.
implication that they can all like smell the evil coming from Gabriel's future? Like, I feel like, why is everybody able to see into the future in this game? Because everyone's talking mad shit about who Gabriel's going to become.
I don't know, man. It's very weird. But you definitely called it, Alessio. You said, I hope they don't explain it. He doesn't come back. And they certainly did not explain it. He certainly does not come back.
Perfect. Yeah, so I guess ultimately the real thing that the best way that I can think to frame this closing statement in a utility way for people listening, would you recommend somebody play this?
No.
Yeah, Isaac, what were your thoughts?
Well, no.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, there are far better games you can play for 20 hours. And there are far better games that are like this game that you can play for less hours. So like the original God of War, I'm pretty sure clocks in at like 11 or 12 hours. That game is immensely more fun and more interesting than this game, which is
You know what else you could play? You could go play Devil May Cry 1, 3, and 4.
Yep.
Not 2.
Yep. And not DMC.
And not DMC.
Yeah, I mean, there are
5
plenty of
looks
character
good, though.
action games like that you can play. Like Bayonetta 2, if you have a Switch, go fucking play that. But specifically for this type of, like, I don't know, bro-y kind of beat 'em up, hyper aggressive, masculine flavor.
It's not.
OG
It's not
God of War.
It's not for Castlevania. I don't think this whole like style fits Castlevania.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think clearly it fit for the West because the sales figures are there.
Yeah, I guess.
But I don't know, man. Like this, unfortunately, those of you who've followed along with us up until episode 85, I'm probably not saying anything you don't already know. This game is not for me, I think is the best way to put this. I enjoy it, but I enjoy it on paper at a distance as far as how it works, but I just don't think it's a game that I would ever play again, ever.
We had discussed this in previous episodes. I think ultimately, Dark Souls is a better 3D Castlevania game.
Dark Souls is the best 3D Castlevania game, in my opinion.
'Cause here's the thing. If somebody said, "Okay, I'm gonna give you this," and gave me Dark Souls, didn't tell me what it was, and just put me in the game and told me to start playing, and then told me it was a Castlevania game, I'd believe them.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Yeah, and so if you're looking for Castlevania in a 3D space and somehow you've yet to play Demon Souls, Dark Souls, or Bloodborne, give those a shot. I don't know. Sam, have you played Bloodborne?
oh yeah.
Very nice. Do you enjoy it? Because I remember for the longest time you kind of bounced off of Demon Souls and Dark Souls.
I think I enjoy Bloodborne more than Demon Souls and Dark Souls. I think because it's faster.
Okay.
I don't think like the slowness. I appreciate.
It's also less defensive. I think Bloodborne's very much so
Yes.
like go, 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 go.
Yeah, it's very much more. It's more aggressive of a game. I appreciate Dark Souls for like that defensive and like slowness to it because I think that adds to the game. I just don't think I find it very like fulfilling.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just curious. 'Cause
But
I
I
know
really-
we've
I
been
really
making
do like-
Bloodborne jokes and references like lately, and so I just wasn't sure how much of it you'd played.
Yeah, no, I do. I haven't played a lot of it because I'm bad at it, but
Yeah, I think I got about
I
halfway
got it
through
on. Yeah, I got it on PS Plus a couple months ago, and it's good. And
Nice.
I appreciate just how much faster it is and more aggressive it is. So
Yeah, if you're looking for gothic, crazy horror, intricate level design, creepy monsters, and RPG elements, 100,000 times fucking go play Bloodborne on the PS4.
oh yeah,
It's magnificent.
Bloodborne for sure. Like any of the Dark Souls games you could put in front of me and tell me it was a Castlevania game, Bloodborne for sure.
Oh yeah, like if
I would believe.
Yeah, if you didn't tell me what it was and you sat me down, I think I would be like, "Fuck! I have been sleeping on Castlevania for a while, and they've been doing amazing things. Like, what is this?" But yeah, so I don't know, Isaac. I think Isaac and I, it seems like, are going to be revisiting, visiting for the first time, Symphony of the Night. So we'll keep you guys posted. I know David Leiden took to Twitter to tell me that, ladies and gentlemen, Alessio's reputation as a gamer is being desecrated due to this episode.
Because he hasn't played Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, and he posted some good images to poke fun at me. So I enjoyed it.
David Leiden is really like on point.
Yeah, he's really lighten my life up. He gives me
was
joy.
hoping you were gonna say
little candle in the darkness of Twitter.
You lighten up my life.
But yeah, I don't know. It's been good. Isaac, I'm sorry we put you through this, but ultimately, I did want to say I've enjoyed the change of pace a little bit. I know with the Metal Gear stuff, it can all kind of, what's the word? When we play so many Metal Gear games back to back to back, and can all kind of like congeal a little bit. But the fact that we played like Metal Gear Rising, and then Peace Walker, and then watched some movies, and then played Castlevania, like I feel like there's been like a nice ebb and flow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
I
that. Oh, sorry.
don't necessarily agree.
Oh, what do you mean?
because we played Castlevania and my heart hurts.
Oh, my heart hurts and requires mending that only Big Boss can provide.
I need to find a mana fountain so I can use my blue magic.
Correct.
Alessio, I'm gonna activate my blue magic and punch you in the fucking face over and over again until my heart feels better. Is that okay?
No. Sure. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll activate my blue magic and we'll just heal each other.
No, you have. That's not how that works.
Damn it. Guys, I had a quick question for you. I think this is the longest game that we've covered for the show that wasn't Peace Walker, right?
Is it?
Yeah, I was gonna say Peace Walker is pretty long, but
Oh, Peace Walker's long as fuck. I think this is the longest game that isn't Peace Walker, though.
yeah.
Is it longer than? I guess it is longer than like the main.
Yeah, because Rising is like 8 hours. Silent Hill 2 is like 8 hours. Every Metal Gear is like 8 hours, 10 hours.
The Metal Gear Solid games aren't 10 hours, are they?
Yeah, they're pretty short, man. Metal Gear 1, 2, and 3, I think, are like max 12 hours. This is a 20-hour game, you guys. This is a 20-hour game.
And then we play 5.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
and then it's
gosh.
over. Like, 5 is the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool. So along those lines, let us really quickly...
Technically, no, Survive is probably short if we had played it all the way.
Yeah, I played it all the way.
And yeah, so that's not as long either.
Yeah, because I think I played Survive all the way through in like 14 hours, maybe.
I'm very sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, we did. Refresh my memory. Which one is worse, Castlevania or Survive?
Oh, I'm gonna be real with you. I think Survive is worse. I know I said on part 2 that Castlevania was worse. I think by the end of Castlevania, I found a little more charm in it than Survive. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, let me give you guys a quick rundown / update on the trajectory of the show for the rest of the year. So thankfully, Metal Gear Mondays is going to be taking a break from mid-December until early February, first week of February. However, the recording schedule that we have drawn out, while we can stop recording by mid-December and come back first week of February, listeners are still going to be receiving content on the general feed until like second week of January, which is crazy.
Yeah, so it's only going to be like 2 weeks off, and then...
Yeah, seemingly for everybody else, it's going to feel like 2 weeks off only.
For us, it's going to be just amazing.
Like over a month, which is great.
For y'all, it won't be too long.
Yeah, so, but what we're going to be covering, so now that we've wrapped Castlevania, we are going to be covering the movies that we did not finish before Spooky Month. So that is Escape from New York, Escape from L.A., From Russia with Love, and then listener responses for movies in Castlevania. And then after that, I believe it would be episode 90. We will be starting so we'll do 2 extra ops after that. And then episode 90 is going to be a fun last-minute audible before the holidays that you guys will get to listen to as sort of your holiday treat. It will be us covering some parody games. So we're going to be covering Merry Gear Solid, and we're going to be covering Never Stop Sneakin', Merry Gear Solid 2 as well. And we might, James is telling me that he might want to talk about Sneaking, the Burger King stealth game.
My goodness.
Because apparently he played a bunch of it.
I actually have that game.
Oh, shit. Isaac, you got to play it.
I've played it too.
Oh, nice. Let's talk about it.
I've played Sneak King. We have to
That's
cover Sneak King.
hilarious.
Yeah. So we'll talk about parody Metal Gear games as sort of our Christmas special, even though it probably will end up coming out either a little bit after Christmas or a little bit after New Year's. Maybe. But yeah, either way, expect that. And if you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Metal Gear Mondays, MetalGearSolidPodcast.com, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all Metal Gear Monday stuff. On Twitter, it's Metal Gear Monday, bit.ly/MGM store for merch, which is sick. Tell your friends, iTunes reviews, all that jazz. Just for those of you wondering, when we return and the show comes back in February, we will be starting our Metal Gear Solid 1 remaster. What that means is that episodes 1 through 4 of the show will be getting an update, and we will be sort of creating a little time capsule for those original episodes within those remasters. And it means that episodes 91 through 95 are going to be kind of duplicates of those first 4 episodes, if that makes any sense. We'll be releasing them at the top of the feed and updating the files at the bottom of the feed. If you want those original 4 episodes, though, if you support us on Patreon at a tier of $2 plus, we'll make those available for you guys. Again, we said it at the top of the episode. If you support us at $10 plus, look forward to a special announcement, and we might ask you for some questions. But keep it to yourself. Keep it hush. Isaac, Sam, where can people find you guys online?
You can find me on Twitter at Sanjul. That's SANJUUL. I tweet stuff there sometimes. I've been a little lax on that recently. Also, I don't know if I want to talk about this or not. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm going to talk about it. I'm writing a thing, a very short story, like 2,500 words or so.
Nice.
I'm not publishing it or publishing it with a publisher or anything like that. I'm just kind of doing it, but it's called And When I Fell in Love. It's a little short story about my life.
When you fell in love.
The times that I've fallen in love and how that has shaken out for me. And
Spoiler, Sam has 16 partners that he's married to.
I have 7 evil exes and no, I'm kidding.
And I have to fight them.
Yeah, Alessio has to fight them to win my love. No, so it's about so let's get real for a second. I've been in love in my life 3 times. And I'm writing about how I felt in those moments and how they affected me in different ways. And when I'm done with it,
those 3 are
gonna...
James, Isaac, and Alessio.
Yep, that's very true. and when I'm finished with them, I'm gonna probably just post it up, and if you want to read it, that'd be cool. And I'll let you guys know when I post it.
That's awesome. Thank you, Sam.
Follow Sanjul on Twitter for that news if you don't want to wait for the podcast.
Appreciate you
Nice.
making yourself
That's awesome.
vulnerable like that for the listeners.
Hey.
Yeah.
Isaac, what are you doing to express your heart to the listeners?
I'm going to be writing a song.
Oh.
Ooh. IsaacLim.com.
Isaac should just
You
end
can
every podcast with I'm writing a song and then just linking to that website.
This guy's gonna get this other Isaac Lim is gonna get a weird contingent of fans he doesn't know where they came from.
Oh my god, they're like, oh, when are you going to put out a song about fumbling in the dark?
It's like,
Oh.
now I
could.
guess. And it's a Christian
Maybe.
site, fumbling in the dark with Jesus. Jesus.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not really doing anything. Sorry.
Yikes.
Isaac hates you all.
Wow.
But you can find me on Twitter. Doesn't have a twit.
When are you going to tweet again, Isaac?
I think I might have lost my password.
Oh my god.
There's a button that's called forgot password. You can click on it.
Oh, you know what we should do? We should totally do a raffle to where once a month, one of the $10 patrons gets access to
Who gets
Isaac's
a
Twitter account.
Oh, to dictate a tweet?
And then we just give them the login credentials for a day.
Oh.
and then,
Take
and then we
over.
just change the password on them.
What if they
And then
change the
somebody
password
has
on
to-
us?
Well, we have the recovery email.
That's true.
They could change
You're right.
that too, though, I guess. I don't know.
They can change that as well.
I'm just brainstorming live on the air. You guys can find me on Twitter at AC Summerfield. You can go to acsummerfield.com. I started doing a really cool retrospective blog post review of every film that I've ever directed and music video that I've ever directed. I got about 5 through, and then I got very busy. But I'm planning on starting that back up again soon because I've got plenty of shit to get through. And once I cover all of the scripted fictional films that I've written and directed, I will more than likely start covering commercial projects that I've worked on and maybe start doing retrospectives on films that I am working on as a producer in a support role. And I might be helping people in the community in St. Louis produce more films as a support role after we wrap with my latest project, which was formerly known as Hate and is now being called Are You All Right? And you can learn more about that at forevernastronaut.com. We aren't crowdfunding anymore, so I appreciate all the people who turned out with a lot of support, but we were able to raise the funds that we needed through exterior sources. It's been pretty cool.
Can I take the link out of the Instagram profile then?
Oh, yeah, please do. That's awesome
Okay.
that you put it in there. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Yep.
It was even the one that you could click.
Oh.
I was being real supportive.
Yeah, I got to update mine as well. Anywho's it. Yeah, that's it. That's been the show.
Did we talk about Instagram in the shop?
Yeah, I think so. I went through Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can go to Instagram.
Okay.
Metal Gear Mondays on IG is the MGM on IG is the hashtag, but it's
Yeah,
Instagram.com/Metal Gear Mondays.
Yeah.
And Sam does a great job, and I'm gonna watch that as soon as I get off of here as I'm falling asleep.
Yes, please. Yes, please do.
Yep.
Like I said, I post the clip from the week previous's episode every Monday, so you'll get the clip from the one that went up on Monday the 12th was the clip from the listener response episode for Spooky Month, and it's very good.
Very nice.
So check it out.
What?
Box.
So vampires, right? When they go to bed, they go into coffins. But what coffins are essentially they're people shaped things. But what are they? What are they though?
I think
Like it's a container you can put a person in. Right?
Does that have something to do with 2/15/24?
What?
The second, the 15th, and the 24th letter of the alphabet. Does it have something to do with that?
Yes.
Isaac, complete the
so-
sentence. Famous Nirvana
Is it-
song, heart-shaped blank.
is it just a 2/15/24?
Yeah, it's just 2/15/24. You nailed it. That was great. I appreciate that. For you humans out there, that spells box. That's BOX. It's just a box. We are fucking running low on these. I don't know what to do anymore. If you have ideas for how to close the show, please send us a tweet at Metal Gear Monday.
Wait.
All right, bye.
Just a box.
Wait! I got one.
All right,
Rolling
come
back.
at
Rolling back.
it. Is that it?
Yeah, I farted.
Oh no! I'm not including that. You nasty boy. Maybe it'll be after the song. All right, I'm cutting my recording.